the Knights win tonight, everyone is going home with a free McDonald's fry. Get your coupon after the game.
Qdoba Mexican Grill is a proud sponsor of your Corvallis Knights. Food for people who love food. Located off Monroe in Corvallis.
Hey fans, did you know we offer mobile ordering? Simply scan the QR code up on the video board to get your favorite TNT Builders Party Deck concessions delivered right to your seat. TNT Builders, your deck and patio cover experts in the Willamette Valley for over 25 years. Visit them at tntbuilderinc.com.
This season, the Knights and Pape Material Handling are teaming up once again to support community outreaching. For every stolen base at home this season, the Knights and Pape will each donate $25 to COI. And that total is doubled when the Knights win. Fans, give it up. These cute kids you see on the field are members of our Oregon State Credit Union Reading Club. We each get their reading goal and earn themselves tickets to tonight's game. Give them a big round of applause, Knights fans. And thank you to Oregon State Credit Union for sponsoring the Reading Club and inspiring young readers in our community. There's a credit union for everyone, and in your neighborhood, that's Oregon State Credit Union. Become a member and start doing more with your money today. Hey kids, don't forget to run the bases after the game and get player autographs courtesy of Old Spaghetti Factory. Once the game is over, access the field near the TNT Builders Party Deck down the third base line. An early reminder, no food or drink is allowed on the field. Tonight's game is sponsored by 99.9 KRKT. 99.9 KRKT is the home of Scott and Angie in the morning. It's not just country, it's cricket country.
Again, everybody from Goss Stadium of Coleman Field on the campus of Oregon State University in Corvallis, along with a big crew tonight of Silas Castle. Quinn Stoffaker back again, and I want to make sure I get a proper enumeration here, because it's Silas Castle, Quinn Stoffaker, Brian Thomas, Ayla Young, Maggie Hobart, Taylor Bennett, Garrett Dworshak, and, for good measure, Aiden O'Neill, the voice of the Bend Elks, who will be joining me again for the middle innings, the 5th and 6th, on our live stream tonight. This is Mike Parker welcoming you to Game 2 of the 3-game West Coast League South Division Series between the Corvallis Knights and the Bend Elks. Old rivals in the league, postseason, regular season, a lot of great games through the years. We'll talk about some of those as we go tonight on Seinfeld night. Now remember, tomorrow night is Wilson Motors night. If you haven't done so already, be sure to stop by the dealership at 5th and Buchanan in Corvallis and pick up your free tickets for tomorrow night at 6:35. Then the Knights will be going on a road trip to Yakima Valley this weekend. It is good to be back tonight, and it's quite a difference in terms of where we were compared to 24 hours ago when it was 96 degrees and an AQI of 73. It's 75 degrees at the moment with an AQI of 25. That thunderstorm, as I'm sure many of you heard and felt and saw and maybe were out in when it hit, was in a sense some welcome relief from the high heat and humidity. It's much more comfortable this evening. Fans coming in looking forward to another good baseball game. We saw one last night, 3-1. The Knights pitched extremely well. In fact, getting great pitching, retiring 17 batters in a row to end the game. Neil Burtis the last 2. Nathan Marshall was perfect through 3, and Matthew Kozdurka a perfect 2. Coming up in our pregame show this evening, with the breezes blowing out and a much different kind of feel altogether, we'll get to know the starting pitcher amid that trio last night, left-hander Neil Burtis. For some reason, I had gotten into my head that he went to Mount Tahoma High School. He's actually from Tahoma High School in Maple Valley, Washington, a town about 35 miles east of Seattle. He's been committed to Oregon State for a long time, but he's getting acclimated here this summer with the Corvallis Knights. We'll meet Neil in a moment. And tonight, speaking of future Beavers, 2 Beavers will be starting against each other. Creighton Tuzio getting the start for the Knights, a future Beaver, against Trevor Kaiser for Bend, who appeared in 1 game this past spring for Mitch Canham and the Beavers against Washington on March 31st. Coming up next, a conversation with last night's starting pitcher Neil Burtis, future Beav, current Knight. That's up in 2 minutes on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Back at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Knights and Bend. Game 2 of this 3-game series. An important game for the Knights last night, and they got it done with tremendous pitching led by starting pitcher, current Knight and future Beaver Neil Burtis out of Tahoma High School in Maple Valley, Washington. Neil, it's great to meet you. I hope you're enjoying life with the Knights as kind of a preparation for Oregon State. So how are you enjoying your summer so far?
I'm having a lot of fun meeting guys from all over the states, just getting to know them and like bonding over everything has just been a really good time, yeah.
Good for you. I want to talk to you about your Oregon State commitment in a moment, how long that's sort of been in the works and what you're looking forward to here in the fall. But let's just first things first. Last night I thought you looked really good and comfortable. How did you feel about your stuff and your command?
It was really warm out last night, so I was feeling good. Body was really loose. Just throwing the fastball for strikes, really. That's been my problem, just not throwing strikes. And yesterday I was all over the zone, so it worked good.
Jumping ahead of almost every hitter, it seemed like. Is everything that you do come off fastball command? Is that true of almost any pitcher?
I mean, I feel like if you have a good fastball, all your other stuff's going to work better. Just kind of establishing that and then going from there is big for me.
Neil Burtis, my guest, future Beaver. Tell me what else you're working on. You said last night you wanted to have fastball command and throw it for strikes. What else in your arsenal? What else are you kind of working to shape and develop this summer that you hope to take with you in the fall?
I've been developing a cutter. I threw it a good amount of times last night. I think I got 1 or 2 strikeouts on it out of my 4. So, I mean, it was working pretty good, just getting flyouts and rollovers. So, yeah, the cutter. And then I throw a slider, too, for another shape out of, like, similar to the cutter but a little slower. And then just a changeup.
Is the cutter something new in your development?
It's the newest one I have, yeah, like within the last year.
And did that come then out of high school or a little bit with Bo as well and working to shape it? I mean, have you even had a chance to talk to Rich Dorman or Andrew Moore about it? I mean, how does that whole thing develop?
No, I just kind of developed it, like started in last summer, like with my summer ball coaches, and then with Bo, he's kind of helped me learn how to throw it a little better. And then he's really helped me with my slider too, like changing the grip and getting a better feel for that.
Neil Burtis joining me. So Neil, I mentioned 2 pitching coaches, and Rich Dorman, now Andrew Moore. From what I read, you've been committed to Oregon State for a while. So tell me a little bit about, how the Beavers came into your world.
So my sophomore summer, like when college coaches first started talking to you, obviously Oregon State reached out to me pretty early. And we set up a visit, and then I went here and decided I didn't want to go anywhere else, so I committed a few days after that, and it's been like this for a while now.
What are the things that attracted you to the place?
Just when I came here, everybody seems so close, the environment seems great, just watching games on TV, all the fans are into the game. I feel like we have the best fans in college baseball, so I mean, I can't be more excited to be here, honestly.
Were you aware of Oregon State at all before they started to recruit you?
Man, I wasn't aware of very many schools. Like, I wasn't sure what was going to happen when August 1st came around, but I was super excited when they called me.
Did you grow up a Mariners fan? Is that it's a safe assumption, but is it true? Are you a Mariners fan?
Yeah, I'm still a Mariners fan for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the change within the coaching staff with Rich moving on, good man, good coach. I've known him for years and worked with him I've been doing this for 28 years, so I've been around everybody that's come through here for a while, including calling games when Andrew Moore pitched here. Love Andrew Moore. Have you had any kind of conversations with him yet about I know he's just had a new baby, so how about that? Anything going on yet with Andrew?
I haven't talked much about like pitching stuff, just kind of getting to know him a little bit. I've seen him in person a couple times. It's good to start building a relationship with him early for the season coming on, so yeah.
And did it shake you at all when Rich left? I mean, he's a guy you were planning to come and pitch for. Or is your commitment to the place and the people there even beyond the coach who recruited you?
Yeah, I mean, I was obviously shocked. I feel like most people were. I mean, I was excited to work with him too, but he made a business decision, and I'm happy to work with Coach Moore too. So, yeah.
Good. Well, we look forward to it. Last couple of things. You talked about the brothers here kind of getting to know people, getting acclimated to life at Oregon State. The fans for the Knights are pretty good too, as you well see. What's your sense about coming down the stretch and the importance of trying to pull together and win the second half, go to the playoffs, win a championship? Do you feel like when you look around the dugout and the bullpen and everybody, that everybody's all in on that same mission?
I mean, we just can't get caught up on like we're the Corvallis Knights, like we've won a lot of championships. I think we just have to take it game by game, one at a time, and then just go from there to the best of our ability. So yeah.
From what I understand, you have just one more outing with the Beavers before you move on to your program with the Beavers. So that's Sunday, is that correct?
Yeah, I should be thrown out of the bullpen on Sunday in Yakima. Yeah.
Have you felt good about what's happened here this summer in terms of your development?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I got hit around a little bit, which is normal. It's kind of like a bittersweet. Like, obviously it's not good, but it's good to feel that and just build off of it. So see what works and see what doesn't.
Well, you've got a future teammate throwing tonight. I know Mitch is going to be here tonight. Coach Canham, who I just saw in the parking lot, said he'll be here to watch Trevor Kaiser for Ben, Creighton Tuzio pitching for the Knights. So these are exciting times. I feel like there's a lot to look forward to at Oregon State, even with a lot of movement and a lot of transition. Do you feel like the program still at Oregon State has a chance to be really, really good in the days ahead?
Oh, of course, yeah. We got our whole 2026 recruiting class now, so it's going to be a good, exciting team, I think, for next year.
Well, you're a big part of it. Thank you for your time. Congratulations. Welcome to the Knights and to Oregon State. Thanks for making time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's left-hander Neil Burtis joining me. We've got the first pitch coming up to be delivered by another future Beaver in Creighton Tuzio. Game 2, the Knights and the Bend Elks. It's about 25 degrees cooler than what Neil worked in last night. It feels good. Great night to be at the ballpark. First pitch coming up next after this 2-minute break on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Now we're going to throw it back down to Dom. Take it away.
Play ball.
Well, somebody sang it a long time ago. Was it Dinah Washington? I'm not really sure. That could be right. It just somehow feels right. What a difference a day makes. About a 25-degree difference in temperature and a 50-plus degree difference in the air quality. It's a beautiful evening for baseball. Great to have you with us, the Bend Elks and the Corvallis Knights. I haven't checked to see what it is in Bend today. Perhaps I will do so at some point. I know the Elks in busing over, heading across the pass, left an AQI of 257 with 400,000 acres burning across the state. We go to game 2. Eli Pupo leads things off for the Bend Elks. The center fielder, left-handed hitter, takes outside from Creighton Tuzio, 6'7", 235-pound right-hander out of Clarinda, Iowa. Comes back with a fastball in there for a strike. 1-1 to Eli Pupo, leading things off. You guys can go ahead and kill Mike 2 for now within the McGrath family press box. It'll be livened later. It looks like a change and a good pitch from Creighton. Swung on and missed to run the count to 1-2 to Eli, playing in his 27th game, starting for the 20th time for Alan Cox's Elks, hitting .246, 7 runs batted in. The 1-2 fastball away, ball 2, 2-2. Right-hander Creighton Tuzio, out of Iowa Western Community College and coming to Oregon State, getting acclimated here with the Knights. Delivers the 2-2 pitch just outside ball 3. Pupo, if he gets on base, would snap a streak of 17 consecutive Bend Elks hitters retired yesterday by the trio of Knights batters. Creighton shakes off his battery mate Dakota Chun. Now the 6'7" righty kicks and comes 3-2. Fastball taken. Strike 3 called. 18 in a row. Going back a bit, but yes, 18 straight hitters retired by Knights pitching. Eli Pupo looking at a called third. Richie Klosik will be the batter for Bend with 1 out and nobody on. Pupo in center field has just struck out. Klosik the batter in the 2-hole in right. Jace Miller on deck batting third, the DH. Cameron Beck of Oregon State, the cleanup hitter at first base. Brady Pettit hitting 5th at third. The first pitch to Klosik from Tuzio, swung on and missed. Will Goodman hitting 6th at shortstop. Vinny Salvione batting 7th at second base. Hayden Smith hitting 8th and catching. Jackson Murphy batting 9th and left. Trevor Kaiser, right-hander, and an Oregon State pitcher on the mound. Tuzio, the future Beaver, throws a fastball into the lower back of Richie Klosik. So it's a freebie that ends the streak of 18 hitters in a row set down by Knights pitching. A fastball buried into the lower back of Richie Klosik. That'll bring Jace Miller to the plate. For the Knights defensively, a battery of Creighton Tuzio and Dakota Chun. At first base, Ethan Porter. Berkeley Rentz at second, Ryan Severns at short, Diego Cruz at third, with Kellen Siegel in left, Max Medina in center, and James Colella in right. The first pitch to the pride of South Medford and a man who spent this past spring at Oregon State, still in the portal looking for a landing spot for his final year of collegiate eligibility. Jace Miller, a strike, 0-1 the count. James Colella getting the start in right field tonight, the future Seattle U Red Hawk. The strike 1 pitch from Creighton Tuzio misses high and away, ball 1, 1-1. You can hear the breezes blowing through. There was very little of that last night. It is a decidedly different kind of feel, and good, I have to admit. The 1-1 pitch swung out and missed in the count 1-2. I mean, I love the heat of summer. Last night was a little different. It was muggy hot and hazy hot, and it just honestly not particularly pleasant. Today, beautiful 75 degrees and AQI of 25, and a beautiful evening for baseball. The wind's blowing out slightly towards left. Just getting started in game 2. A throw to first into the field turf picked by Ethan Porter. Johnny Kemp coaching at third, and it looks like pitching coach Wes Harper at first, coaching for the Bend Elks, with Alan Cox, the skipper, calling the offense within the dugout on the first base side. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jace Miller. Tuzio's breaking ball misses, and that evens the count at 2-2. 3:30 down both lines at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. 365 to the power alleys. 400 feet to straightaway center. 2-2 to Richie Klosik at first base with 1 out. Jace, the designated hitter, awaits and swings and lines it into left field. Base hit. Kellen Siegel plays the baseball on a couple of hops off the field turf. Richie Klosik stops at second, and Cameron Beck will come to the plate.
For the Elks, the first baseman, number 39.
Cameron, big right-handed hitter, 6'3", 230, out of Bingham High School in South Jordan, Utah. Cameron at 228 with the Elks with a homer and 3 runs batted in, starting for the 17th time this summer. Comes to the plate with 2 on and 1 out, top of the first, no score. Creighton from the stretch delivers fastball away. Ball 1, 1 ball and no strikes. Did not play this past spring for the Beavers, but a big, strong right-handed hitter that I know Ryan Gibson and Mitch Canham, and Mitch is here tonight, will be here. The pitch on the way to Cameron swung on and missed. 1-1 the count. I saw Mitch in the parking lot before the game. He was on his way out for a venture with his family. Something escape. I don't know what it is exactly. It's something down by the Knights office where you get locked into a room and you and your family try to make a great escape. Something like that. Breaking ball away, ball 2, 2-1. The whole family, the whole Canham family, Mitch and Marlis and Mac and Maya, all together in a room, and then they try to escape one another. That's a bit of a new one on me, but Mitch said if he makes the great escape, he'd get to the ballpark and watch some of his future guys here tonight, including Cameron Beck, who swings at the 2-1 pitch, doesn't get it, and the count 2-2. The Knights homestand comes to an end tomorrow evening on Wilson Motors night, 6:35, then a trip to the great Yakima Valley over the weekend. 2 on, 1 out, no score, top of the first. Brady Pettit on deck. The 6'7" right-hander Tuzio to the plate and misses again. Ball 3, 3-2. Coach Cox with a bit of a decision here now, with Richie Klosik at second, Jace Miller at first. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Tuzio getting the start with his future head coach, Mitch Canham, part of the crowd here tonight. Andrew Moore not quite up here yet. His wife, Taylor, giving birth to the family's 4th child just a few days ago, so he is still down in Texas. The 3-2 pitch, runners did not go. Swung on and fouled back. It remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Creighton Tuzio getting the opportunity to pitch tonight, only his 2nd out, and he worked 2 innings in a game last week. He delivers a 3-2 fastball just outside for ball 4. Good plate discipline by Cameron Beck. He draws the walk, and here comes Brooke Knight. And Brooke wants to go out and visit, I think, with Creighton Tuzio, but I think he's concerned about Creighton's physical state of being. So Brooke, the skipper, 18th year, comes out to confer with Taylor Schneider and says, I want to go out and see about my guy. Something may be a bit off. And Tuzio towering over Brooke, big right-hander. Brooke looking up at him and conversing with Creighton. And I hope that Creighton's okay. But something with the entire infield gathering there as well didn't look quite right, I guess, to Brooke or to pitching coach Bo Kearns. And someone is being dispatched out of the Knights dugout down to the bullpen. I don't know if Creighton will make a pitch or play a little catch here with his battery mate Dakota Chun, or just say, no, I'm good to go. But apparently whatever he said to Brooke convinced the skipper that Creighton's good to carry on. Bases loaded, 1 out for Brady Pettit. No score, top of the first inning, but an opportunity for Bend, which lost last night, to get on the board early. Bend at 4-11 in the second half. The Knights at 8-5, a half game back of Walla Walla for the second half race. Creighton's first pitch is way outside to Brady Pettit, ball 1, 1-0. Clarinda, Iowa, the hometown of big right-hander. It's about 75 miles southeast of Omaha, 136 miles southwest of Des Moines. The 1-0 pitch, down and away, ball 2, 2-0. And Brooke is on his way out, and that's going to be it. I don't think he is convinced that Creighton is physically 100%. And not only that, Creighton is not filling up the strike zone. He has hit a batter, he's walked a batter, and he's behind a Pettit 2-0, so that's it for Creighton. And Creighton, I can't speculate and won't any further, but I think Brooke is right, and I'm not sure that Creighton is feeling quite right. Bo Kearns meets Creighton as Creighton begins to descend the steps into the Knights dugout on the third base side. And perhaps we'll learn more tomorrow and report back. But if family and friends are listening, watching back in Clarinda, Iowa, let's hope the best. I was hoping to be able to talk a little bit more about Clarinda, the hometown of this big right-hander, Creighton Tuzio. Glenn Miller's birthplace. The Carnegie Art Museum is there. Andrew Carnegie donated $15,000 back in 1907 for a library to be built in Clarinda, and apparently it's now an art museum. But that was the same year, 1907, when this ballpark came into existence. And tonight, Creighton Tuzio pitching out of Clarinda and Iowa Western here at the home of the Knights and the home of the Beavers. So a change is made here. I think the new pitcher will have as long as he needs to get ready, because I think this is a move being made due to physical reasons more than the fact that it was also true that Creighton was struggling a bit. And so Brooke Knight is walking over, I think, to confirm that point with home plate umpire Taylor Schneider. Wilson Motors called to the bullpen, and remember, Wilson Motors night tomorrow night. Get down to 5th and Buchanan before tomorrow night's game. Pick up your free tickets, and we'll see you here tomorrow at 6:35. It'll be Jack Galanita taking the baseball here in the top of the first inning. The Elks have the bases loaded, 1 out, and a 2-0 count to Brady Pettit. Back in 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Jack Alanita inheriting a 2-0 count, and it was a tough situation, no doubt, and he misses on back-to-back pitches to Brady Pettit, walks in a run thus, and Brady, who was at St. Mary's College, now at San Diego State, gets an RBI to put Bend up 1-0. Will Goodman, the batter, bases loaded, 1 out. Goodman swings and misses, 0-1 the count. And so the Knights are hopeful that right-hander Jack Galanita, who has been very good this summer, can be exactly that right now and minimize damage. A hit batter, 2 walks, a base hit in the inning. The strike 1 pitch is lifted into Urchin Alley by Will Goodman over my right shoulder. Will out of Bend Senior High School. And that's what I've got to double check with Aiden on. It's one of those things where you look people up and try to get all of the information. And I have here Will Goodman. And I have a Washington commit and then Pepperdine question mark. So I've got to finesse that a little bit. The strike 2 pitch swung on and missed, strike 3. I knew there was one more question I wanted to ask Aiden about the roster. But a good sequence of pitches for the right-hander Jack Galanita. After inheriting a 2-0 count and walking Brady Pettit, he's able to come back and strike out Will Goodman on 3 pitches. And that brings to the plate Vinny Salvione, and Jack with a chance. If he gets out of this with only 1 run in, he's done one heck of a job. 1-0 Bend, top of the first inning, in a decidedly different experience than the way last night's game ended. Did not make an appearance, so apparently Goodman began his career at Washington and did not make any appearances with Pepperdine this past spring. The portal is such a fluid type of situation that it's difficult to keep track of all the movement. Salvione takes ball 1. The 1-1 pitch missing from Jack. Ball 2. 2-1 to Vinny Salvione. 1-0 Bend with the bases loaded in the top of the first inning. Jack Galanita taking over for the right-hander who appeared to be struggling physically. Galanita misses down and away, ball 3, 3-1. A hit batter, 2 walks in the inning. Bases full. Big pitch here for Jack Galanita and for the Knights in their continuing quest to try to stay consistent and get on a run. Down 1-0. Galanita's 3-1 pitch. A ground ball to third off the knee of Diego Cruz. And a run comes in on an error on Diego at the hot corner. Vinny Salvione does not get a run batted in. Jace Miller down the line to score. The bases remain loaded. Cameron Beck into third. Brady Pettit to second. Vinny Salvione at first. 2-0 Bend. And Hayden Smith will be the hitter. Jack Galanita out of the stretch, and the pitch on the way to Hayden is in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. Two runs in the inning, so Ben getting the good jump tonight in trying to get this series even and render tomorrow's game a rubber match. Breaking ball swung on and missed. 0-2 the count. Hayden Smith with a chance to really do some big damage, and it's an opportunity on the other hand for Galanita to try to put an end to a rough inning right here. He misses down with the breaking ball. 1-2 the count to Hayden. Hayden from Grand Canyon to flipping from Grand Canyon University to Utah out of Glendale Community College. Snow Canyon High School in Utah, was at Glendale, committed to GCU, never got there, flipped to Utah. Swings and chops one foul back of third past Johnny Kemp. 1 ball and 2 strikes with the bases loaded, 2 down. In the top of the first inning, in a long ordeal of an inning for the Corvallis Knights. And it started well. Nice sequence of pitches by starter Creighton Tuzio, striking out Eli Pupo, but much has transpired since, and not much of it to the good. Galanita trying to end it with the damage done at 2. Jack to the plate, breaking ball lifted foul off third. Diego Cruz comes over and watches the ball land about 3 rows deep in the lower grandstand beyond the Knights dugout on the third base side. The count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes to Hayden Smith. Tomorrow is Wilson Motors night. They have been serving Corvallis on our community since 1940. helping local families, students, and businesses find the right vehicles, in many cases the first vehicles for a young family member. Galanita delivers, line foul down the left field line. So for 3 generations, Wilson Motors has been proud to call Corvallis home. And once again, they support the Knights in a big way. They are giving away the house tomorrow. And if you haven't stopped by yet, you still have time between now and tomorrow's 6:35 ball game to get down to the dealership at 5th and Buchanan and pick up your free tickets for tomorrow's game. 2-0 Bend here in this middle game of the series. Top of the first, bases loaded. Galanita delivers, and Hayden pounds it foul at the plate. Good battle by Hayden Smith, with the Knights having a heck of a time getting out of this top of the first inning. 2 runs already across. Hayden has 1 run batted in this summer, has a chance for a couple here, and he's going to get at least one. A line drive base hit to left, rounding third, and the throw from Kellen Siegel is up the line, and 2 runs do come in to score. Bend leads it 4-0. Hayden Smith had 1 RBI this summer. He now has 3, with Cameron Beck and Brady Pettit coming in to score. And on the play, Vinny Salvione to third and Hayden Smith to second. Kellen's throw offline, up the line, no chance to at the plate. A good throw, there would have been a chance, but the throw came up the line into foul territory. And Bend just takes immediate control of this ball game, 4-0. And it's going to be up to the Knights in this up and down year such as I've never seen in all the summers the Knights have been in town. It'll be up to the offense to try to find their way back in this game. They're going to need runs. The first pitch in there for a strike to Jackson Murphy. No balls and 1 strike the count. 4-0 Bend, top of the first inning. Second and third, 2 down. The strike 1 pitch, swung on and fouled back. Murphy, the 9th man to come to the plate in the inning. And that was a really good battle on the part of Hayden Smith. He earned it. He kept biting off pitches and eventually got one he could handle for the 2-run single. No balls and 2 strikes to Jackson Murphy. The 0-2 pitch, a change down and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Jackson entering UC Davis is coming, Paul. Left-handed hitter, looking for a couple of RBIs on his own. The 1-2 pitch, a line drive to deep right field. James Colella going back. The ball will carry all the way to the warning track out in right center field. 2 more runs will score. Vinny Salvione and Hayden Smith come home on a double to right center field for Jackson Murphy, and Bend leads it 6-0. And the Bend dugout making, as they well should, a lot of noise, celebrating what has been just a gigantic inning for the visiting Bend Elks. They have 6 runs on the board. The inning isn't over. Eli Pupo began the inning, and it was not a harbinger. He struck out looking. He shows bunt, misses a bunt attempt, and the count 0-1. But since then, and Creighton Tuzio appeared to have gotten off to a nice start with the punch out on a 3-2 pitch of Eli Pupo. A lot of good swings, good battles, and the Knights' struggles, which have been more manifest than ever in the summer of 2026, continue. The pitch is in the turf, the count 1-1. 6-0 Bend in the top of the first inning. Out of the stretch works Jack Galanita. Jackson Murphy at second. 2 down. The 1-1 fastball from Jack swung on and fouled straight back. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Eli Pupo looking to keep the fun going for this Bend Elks club. They're having a good time tonight, no doubt. Breaking ball down and in. Eli out of Redmond High School and just completed his freshman campaign at Bushnell University. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 6 in for Bend in the first. Jack Galanita ready to the plate. The 2-2 pitch, a fly ball to left center field. Max Medina moving over, makes the catch. The inning is over, but a great start for the Bend Elks. They jumped the Knights to the tune of 6 runs in the first inning, 3 hits, a huge error, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the first. Bend 6, the Knights coming up, back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
You to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
The Knights allow 5 unearned runs in the top of the first inning and trail 6-0 going to the bottom half. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Knights, who have a huge hole to try to dig out of from the get-go. Leading off at third base, Diego Cruz. Batting second at first base, Ethan Porter. Dakota Chun hitting third and catching. Ryan Severns, the cleanup hitter at short. Zane Garvey batting fifth, the DH. Max Medina hitting sixth in center. Kellen Siegel batting seventh in left. James Colella hitting eighth in right. Berkeley Rentz batting ninth at second. Trevor Kaiser with a 6-run lead misses outside to Diego Cruz. The 1-0 pitch. Diego bangs it into right field. Base hit. Juggling the ball out there, Richie Klosik, but fires back in. Diego would be a little more aggressive coming out of the box, I think, and might have even thought in terms of with the bobble in right by Klosik in a more normal type situation. Might even think about an aggressive turn and maybe even thinking in terms of trying to go to second, but not down 6 runs. He settles for a leadoff single. Ethan Porter, the batter. 6-0 Bend, bottom of the first. Ethan tried to check his swing, but went around on Trevor Kaiser out of Hanford High School in West Richland, Washington. 1 game for the Beavers this past spring, and it was, now he's in another form of a rout here early. He pitched an inning and a third in the Beavers' 18-2 loss to Washington here on March the 31st. He comes to the plate with a 6-run lead pitching for the Bend Elks and misses high and inside to Ethan Porter. 1 ball and 1 strike, bottom of the first inning. Trevor, the right-hander, delivers. Porter a fly ball to center field. Eli Pupo is right there to make the catch. 1 away, and Dakota Chun will come to the plate. Trevor is making his 6th start of the summer for the Bend Elks, 1-2 with an ERA of 5.03. In 19 2/3 this summer, he's allowed 28 hits, walked 10, struck out 18. He gives up a leadoff single to Diego Cruz, gets Porter to fly out. Now Dakota Chun at the plate. And the first pitch from Trevor misses a little low and inside, ball 1, 1-0. Trevor Kaiser, the right-hander, and a guy that I know Mitch is here pointedly to watch. He said, he mentioned a couple of guys, but he said, I really want to see Trevor pitch. There goes Diego Cruz. The throw from Hayden Smith, not in time. Diego Cruz is in with a stolen base. A little surprising to see him running down 6 runs, but he felt like he got a decent jump. And so the Knights hoping to at least get a little something on the board and feel better about the way this ball game started. Trevor to the plate, and the pitch is swung on and hit foul down the left field side and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Big Trevor, 6'6", 225-pounder. Dakota Chun trying to pick up Diego Cruz, get the Knights on the board, serve notice that the Knights are going to try to stay in this fight. He hooks the off-speed pitch deep and foul past Casey corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Susan Casey in the ballpark again tonight. Saw her here last night, Pat's wife. I haven't seen Pat. I don't know if he's with Pat Murphy and the Brewers now. It's difficult to keep track of the peregrinations of Pat Casey. I'm not sure where he is tonight. The 1-2 pitch, a ground ball into left field for a base hit. Diego Cruz scoots to third. And so the Knights, with a good piece of hitting by Dakota Chun, slapping one through the 6-hole, have a chance to come right back. Ryan Severns will be the hitter. Dakota Chun with a nice swing for the base hit, starting the night at 2 for 10, but getting a base hit here. Ryan Severns has had an excellent summer. He's at 287 with a homer, 7 runs batted in. The Elks with the infield at double play depth, leading 6-0. Ryan swings and misses. No balls and 1 strike the count. A really good article today by Joe Freeman that appeared about the brotherhood of Oregon State baseball in the major leagues, with 9 guys now. There have been as many as 11 at one time in the major leagues this year at the same time. But all reflecting on their days at Oregon State, and in some cases talking about Pat Casey in those days. Not all of them played for Pat. Travis Bazzana did not play for Coach Casey here. The pitch on the way, down and away, and the count 1-1. Travis and Quaney were the featured guardians in the post-game interview room last night, and they're big nights with my daughter Lydia, getting to watch them play at Progressive Field. What a nice juxtaposition of life there. The pitch to Ryan Severns drills the Knights shortstop. And the Knights have the bases loaded in the bottom of the first inning, trailing 6-0, but a real opportunity to perhaps show that it's going to be a wild sort of night here at the ballpark, hoping to get on the board. And with a crooked number of their own. They're down 6-0, but have the bases loaded and 1 out for Zane Garvey, the designated hitter. The pitch from Trevor, slap foul in front of the Corvallis Knights dugout on the third base side. 1 ball and no strikes to Zane, who had a good ball game last night. In fact, was 2 for 2 and walked twice in his 4 plate appearances. Looking for a big RBI moment here with Diego Cruz at third, Dakota Chun at second, Ryan Severns at first. The strike 1 pitch to Zane misses high and inside. 1-1 the count. Max Medina on deck. 6-0 Bend, bottom of the first, but this crowd, I think, looking forward to having something to be excited about. Garvey swings and misses. The count 1-2 to Zane. 5 unearned runs in the top of the first inning. And now the Knights trying to come back on their own part. Diego Cruz at third, Dakota Chun at second, Ryan Severns at first. The 1-2 pitch taken a little bit high. Good take. Pitch was close, but a little up and away. And Garvey has worked the count to 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes to Zane Garvey. Bases loaded, 1 out. Trevor Kaiser to the plate. Garvey fights it off and fouls it towards Waldo Hall to the left. Out of play. Again, established back in 1907, the same year the ballpark was established. Waldo Hall went up in 07. Andrew Carnegie donated $15K for a library in Clarinda, Iowa. Garvey swings a one-hopper to the first baseman, Cameron Beck, who runs into the bag for an out. On the play, Diego Cruz down the line to score. Garvey hit it pretty well, gets a run batted in. And so here is a moment now for the Knights. It's 6-1, Ben, with Max Medina coming to the plate with a chance to pick up everyone's spirits, pick up the entire mood of this ballpark if he's able to find a hole, get a base hit, and score a couple of more runs. With Dakota Chun at third, Ryan Severns at second, 2 down, 6-1 Bend. Medina takes just outside, ball 1, 1-0. Trevor Kaiser and Hayden Smith, the battery for the Elks. Cameron Beck at first, Vinny Salvione at second, Will Goodman at short, Brady Pettit at third with Jackson Murphy in left, Eli Pupo in center, Richie Klosik in right. Medina swings, a swinging bunt up along third, barehanded by Kaiser. The throw to first is not in time. 1 run is in. The throw to the plate, that's not in time. The Knights get 2 runs on a swinging bunt off the bat of Max Medina, and it's now Bend 6 and the Knights 3. Great base running, and the Knights are right back in it. A 2-run swinging bunt single for Max Medina. Exciting baseball. Dakota Chun scoring, and Ryan Severns with Brooke Knight playing it aggressively. Rounding third with a full head of steam and coming down the line to score when Cameron Beck received the throw from Trevor Kaiser, and Brooke didn't hesitate. Wheeling Severns all the way around, a good slide by Ryan, and the Knights have cut the lead in half, and there goes Medina, and he stole it on Trevor Kaiser. Down to second base with another stolen base, the second of the inning. Well now, the Knights are in this thing. Pretty a gloomy, glum sort of mood here after the top of the first. The Knights still trail 6-3, but boy, what a difference indeed in the mood in the overall park after that last swinging bunt. 2 RBI single from Max Medina. Kellen Siegel takes outside, ball 2, 2-0. 2 stolen bases in the inning for the Knights, and that's good news from Pape Material Handling and the Knights to Community Outreach Inc. Siegel fists one foul in the air off first, playable for Cameron Beck, and Beck is not able to make the catch. And it was right at the net. I don't know if it grazed the net coming down, but either way, Kellen's still alive with a chance to get Max Medina home. Pape Material Handling keeps you moving one step closer to home again this summer. Pape and the Knights have teamed up in support of COI, Community Outreach Inc., the local nonprofit dedicated to helping people lead healthy and productive lives. The 2-1 pitch to Siegel, a little bit high, ball 3. And for every Knight stolen base, both Pape and the Knights donate $25 to Community Outreach Inc. So a $50 bottom of the first inning. 6-3 Bend. 3-1 to Kellen Siegel. Max Medina at second. The 3-1 pitch outside, ball 4. James Colella to the plate, and the pitching coach for the Bend Elks, Wes Harper, asking for time and on his way out to the mound. So in a sense, as a showcase for future Oregon State pitchers, perhaps not exactly what Coach Canham and I know Andrew isn't here, but what Mitch would like to have seen, Creighton Tuzio leaving in the top of the first inning, and I think it had something to do with a physical issue. You know, Trevor Kaiser staked to a 6-run lead. The good news for the Knights is they're right back in the game at 6-3, but in terms of just looking at it strictly from an Oregon State perspective, not exactly what Mitch and Trevor and everybody would have hoped for. When you score 6, you just want to keep that momentum rolling, go out, put up a 0 in short order, and keep going. But the Knights have done a nice job to flip that script. James Colella, the batter, pride of Bill Crothers Secondary School, Woodbridge, Ontario. Swings at the first pitch and doesn't get it from the right-hander Trevor Kaiser. With 2 on and 2 out, 3 runs in, 6-3 Knights. No balls and 1 strike to the left-hand hitting Colella. The runners go. The pitch is outside, and both runners scoot into scoring position. Medina into third, Siegel into second, 2 more stolen bases, 4 in the inning. So it is a bonanza for Community Outreach Inc., thanks to Papay Material Handling and the Knights. 4 stolen bases in the inning. The 1-1 pitch to Colella misses down and in, ball 2, 2-1. James looking for a base hit that could turn this into a 1-run ball game right here. 2 balls and a strike to James Colella, 6-3 Bend, bottom of the first inning. The 2-1 pitch, big swing and a miss by James, and that evens the count at 2-2. Colella getting his first at-bat as a Corvallis Knight. It's a big one. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out, 3 in, bottom of the first. The 2-2 pitch, a line drive caught by the pitcher, Trevor Kaiser. Good play by Trevor, good reaction. I'm not sure it would have been able to sneak through anyway because the shortstop, Will Goodman, was in position behind the bag, but a good play by Kaiser. The Knights do a good job on their part, though. After giving up 6, 5 of them unearned in the top of the first inning. The Knights come back with 3 in the bottom of the first. So we have ourselves a ball game. At the end of 1, Bend 6, the Knights 3, back in 90 on Joe Radio.
Rolling with the crew, where good vibes meet good times. Retro keys, vintage vibes, unlock your next adventure. Pups got the hookup too, belly rubs included. Space to kick back, laugh out loud, and just be. Hit the pop shop for quick snacks and take in the moment, or just chill with your pup and soak up the good life. Stay original at Hotel Corvallis.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Well, if you wanted to spend a goodly amount of time at the old ballpark, this might be your night. We go to the second inning at 7:20. The first pitch was thrown at 6:35. And 9 runs in the first inning, 6 for Bend, 3 of which were unearned, not 5, double checking the scoring machinations with Brooks Hatch. In theory, there only should have been 1 run scored because the ground ball to third that led to an error would have been the third out of the inning, but Brooks claims that 2 of the runs against Jack Alanita, who's still in there, are earned. The 1-1 pitch, and I get it. It's kind of a technicality. I look at it as you make the play at third, the inning's over, and you're down 1-0, not 6-0. But it plays out a little bit differently in official scoring rules with the change of pitchers. Klosick takes inside. Now the 2-1 pitch under the hands from Jack. Swung on and missed, and the count 2-2. Richie Klosick, Jace Miller, and Cameron Beck in the second inning. 6-3 Bend. 2-2 to Richie, who was hit by a pitch the beginning of Soros. Last inning for the Knights. The 2-2 pitch, breaking ball up from Jack Alanita, ball 3, 3-2. But the Knights did a good job to come back and compete and get that lead cut in half. And now Galanita and company charged to try to keep it close as the ball game progresses. To that end, an inauspicious beginning. The 3-2 pitch is low and inside for ball 4. A leadoff walk. And Jace Miller, who singled to left field last inning and scored 1 of the 6 runs, returning to the plate. For replacement glass, shower doors, or new vinyl windows in your home, call Smith Glass. Smith Glass is a leading residential and commercial glass service for the Mid-Valley and a longtime partner of the Corvallis Knights. Smith Glass on the cutting edge since 1945. A chopper to Cruz. Diego goes to second and pulls second baseman Berkeley Rentz off the bag for his second error of the night. The Knights would have gotten just 1 out on the play if Diego's throw had been an accurate one, but his throw pulled Berkeley Rentz off. And so 2 on and nobody out, and Cameron Beck, the hitter. Cameron drew a walk and scored last inning. Jack Galanita comes set, and the pitch on the way to Cameron, a fly ball to center. Medina started back. Now he makes the catch and fires back in on 1 hop to Diego Cruz, holding at second base Richie Klosick. Cameron Beck, good contact, but an out to straightaway center and not deep enough to get Richie Klosick moved. Big out, 1 away. Brady Pettit, the batter. Brady drew a walk and scored last inning. Out of Carlsbad, California, and kind of heading back home from Moraga. Will begin at San Diego State this fall. Takes a first pitch strike. 0-1 the count. 6-3 Bend, top of the second inning. Richie Klosick at second, Jace Miller at first. Jack Galanita trying to work through some difficulties, some of his own making, yes, but also hasn't had quite the defensive support that I'm sure he or anyone would have hoped for. The pitch is swung on and fisted foul above the netting on the first base side, above the dugout for the Bend Elks. The count to Pettit, no balls and 2 strikes. Will Goodman on deck. Jack from the stretch, and the 0-2 pitch. Breaking ball taken, strike 3 called. Dakota Chun with a back pick down to first, not in time, with Jace Miller getting back. I worried for a moment that by popping up out of the crouch, as Dakota Chun did, that he might not have given the home plate umpire Taylor Schneider a long enough look at the breaking ball. But it was good enough, got enough of the plate. Strike 3 called, 2 down. Will Goodman the batter. And Jack Alanita, after a walk and an error, an out away from putting up a much-needed 0. Delivers a ground ball to second. Berkeley Rentz up with it. Throws to Ethan Porter at first for the out. Nicely done by Jack Galanita. Tough start to the inning, but the Knights finish it well and hope to get right back on the comeback trail. No runs, no hits, an error, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the second. Bend 6, the Knights 3, back in 90. on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Welcome. We're looking to switch and heard about OCCU. In 20 words, what makes OCCU different?
OCCU has free interest-earning checking, high-yield savings, and a community focus.
That's only 11.
We're the credit union with duck and beaver cards.
Sounds like OCCU has a lot to offer.
OCCU has been around for 70 years. We've learned a thing or two.
Switch to OCCU. Apply online at myoccu.org or at your local branch.
Rolling with the crew, where good vibes meet good times. Retro keys, vintage vibes, unlock your next adventure. Pups got the hookup too, belly rubs included. Space to kick back, laugh out loud, and just be. Hit the pop shop for quick snacks and take in the moment, or just chill with your pup and soak up the good life. Stay original at Hotel Corvallis.
Six to 3 Bend, bottom of the second inning. Interesting game to be sure thus far. Berkeley Rentz will lead things off, the number 9 hitter in the lineup, posted by head coach Brooke Knight. Brooke in his post at third. Marcus Matias coaching at first. The first pitch to Berkeley Rentz from Trevor Kaiser misses high and away. Berkeley followed by Diego Cruz and then Ethan Porter. The 1-0 pitch in the turf, ball 2, 2-0. Sidney Pointer has provided me with a wrap-up of the Twins-Guardians game today at Progressive Field in Cleveland. Former Knights and Beavers all over it again. The 2-0 pitch missing to Berkeley, ball 3, 3-0. Berkeley trying to get on base and keep the good vibe going for the Knights from last inning, scoring 3, and the 3-0 pitch to Berkeley is high and away, ball 4. Trailing 6-0 and feeling, I think, rather dismal going to the bottom of the first. The Knights scrap back for 3 and now begin the second inning with a leadoff walk. Diego Cruz got things going last inning with a base hit. He stole a base. He scored one of the 3 runs. The Knights stole 4 bases in the inning. So a good job by the Knights, not capitulating to, well, here we go again, and a bad night at the ball. Nope. They're right in this thing. Down 6-3, bottom of the second inning, and Diego Cruz takes the first pitch high from Trevor Kaiser, his future teammate. 1 ball and no strikes the count to Diego. Another future teammate of Trevor Kaiser, Ethan Porter, on deck. The 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike. The count 1-1. The breeze is picking up on a decidedly different kind of evening here in the Mid-Valley today. And that wild thunderstorm we had in the mid-afternoon did a nice job of cleansing the air from a 75 AQI down to 25. And the temperature going from 96, 97 yesterday to a very pleasant 75 tonight. A throw to first base, back to the bag goes Berkeley Rentz. 6-3 Bend in the second. 1 ball and 1 strike to Diego Cruz. Kaiser delivers. Cruz out in front of an off-speed pitch, hooks it foul down into Casey corner. 1-2 the count. The Twins beat the Guardians today 10-6. Trevor Larnach, red hot. Former Beaver, went 2 for 4 with a homer, 3 RBIs. Brooks Lee, a former Corvallis Knight, his amazing summer here in 2019, went 2 for 5 with a 3-run homer and had 4 RBIs. The pitch to Diego Cruz, down and in, ball 2, 2-2. Stephen Kwan, 2016 Corvallis Knight. Quanti went 3 for 5 today, and Travis Bazzana, 2021 night, 0 for 3, 2 walks and a stolen base. Cruz, a line drive down the right field line in the corner, a foul ball. That one a little bit closer than the last one that Diego hooked, but not quite between the lines, and he'll come back and try it again. So that is a wonderful ball game for former Beavers and Knights. Not a great result for the Guardians, but Trevor Larnach batting leadoff. Led off. Did he lead off the game with a homer? Led off the game at Progressive with a home run. Good for Trevor. And that article that I mentioned earlier by Joe Freeman, OregonLive.com, Trevor, Stephen, Travis, Drew, all quoted at great length, and a really nice and well done story by Joe Freeman. The pitch to Diego rolled slowly foul towards Coach Matias and Cameron back, the first baseman for Bend. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Diego Cruz, with Ethan Porter next. And the Knights trying to keep some momentum going after trailing 6-0, now 6-3. Cruz backs away from a fastball up and in. Ball 3. 3-2. Berkeley Rentz, a good runner at first. We'll see if Brook might send him. 3-2. With Cruz at the plate, Rentz does go. The 3-2 pitch grounded slowly to second. A good hop for Vinny Salvione, who throws out Berkeley Rentz. But with the 3-2 count and Diego Cruz going, or Berkeley Rentz going, pardon me, the Knights do have a man in scoring position after the 4-3 ground out off the bat of Diego. And Ethan Porter, the Knights' leader in runs batted in, with a chance to pick up another one right here and get the Knights a little bit closer against his future current teammate Trevor Kaiser. Breaking ball strike. These guys have certainly done battle in inter-squad games both in the fall and the spring. Ethan taking a first pitch strike. 0-1 the count. Ethan looking for his 25th run batted in. He had an RBI double in last night's game. Tried to check his swing on a breaking ball on appeal. No swing, says Bryce Reeves. And the count to Ethan, 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out. Bottom of the second. 6-3. If you're late, you have plenty of time to see plenty of baseball. We're about an hour in and still in the second. 1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch missing away, ball 2, 2-1. I'm reminded of some of the darker, more dismal days of Mariners baseball, and even alluding to the time of game. The 2-1 pitch to Ethan Porter on the outside corner for a strike, and the count 2-2. The late, great, and one of the best to ever do it, Dave Niehaus. There were times in some of the bleaker years of the Mariners that Dave would get rather fixated early in the game about just how long everything was taking. So thinking about what I just said, we're about an hour in the second. Nothing beats fun of the old ballpark. So I guess I'm just saying it's a different kind of game than last night. Very well pitched by both teams. The Knights winning in a beautifully pitched game wherein 17 batters in a row retired by a final score of 3-1. Porter takes high and away here, ball 3. Trevor Kaiser at the plate, and the 3-2 pitch is chased and missed. Strike 3, 2 down. I saw the pitch coming out of Kaiser's hand and was thinking, okay, here we go, first and second, 1 out. Ethan, who doesn't go out of the zone that often, did there and swung at a breaking ball down and away. Dakota Chun, the batter. Dakota slapped a single to left field in the first. That would work again here in the bottom of the second. The pitch to Dakota, line drive, base hit into right center field. Berkeley Rentz will score. The ball juggled out in center by Pupo. Chun will hold at first base. Dakota 2 for 2, an RBI single, and the Knights are on the comeback trail. 6-4 Bend here in the second. the leadoff walk coming back to bite Trevor Kaiser. And so the Knights, who were down 6-0, have cut it to 6-4. Ryan Severns hit by a pitch and scored a run last inning, coming to the plate. The pitch on the way to Ryan misses low. Ball 1-0. Nice piece of hitting by Dakota Chun, who is 2 for 2 and now 4 for 12 in his young stint with the Knights here this summer. The pride of Sunset High and the island of Oahu gets his lead from first. The pitch to Severns, a high pop fly on the left side. Shortstop Will Goodman calls and makes the catch to retire the side. But the Knights, again, do take advantage of the leadoff walk. They get a run on one hit, no errors, and one left. At the end of 2, Bend 6, the Knights 4. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Welcome. We're looking to switch and heard about OCCU. In 20 words, what makes OCCU different?
OCCU has free interest-earning checking, high-yield savings, and a community focus.
That's only 11.
We're the credit union with duck and beaver cards.
Sounds like OCCU has a lot to offer.
OCCU has been around for 70 years. We've learned a thing or two.
Switch to OCCU. Apply online at myoccu.org or at your local branch.
To the third inning we go at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field. Bend 6 and the Knights 4. The Knights' new pitcher taking over for Jack Galanita is Jinky Tomita out of Grant High School and en route to Feather River College for his freshman campaign. Jinky will face Vinny Salvione to lead things off. Vinny will be followed by Hayden Smith and then Jackson Murphy. Bend was 6 runs in the first inning, 3 of them unearned. The Knights have come back with 4, and so we have ourselves an interesting game to be sure. Jinky's first pitch to Salvione, swung on and missed. Vinny hit the ball that gave Diego Cruz trouble at third with the bases loaded in the first. If Diego makes the play, the inning comes to an end with only 1 run across. The strike one pitch, and that hits Vinny Salvione. So another free pass to open an inning with Jinky hitting Salvione. Hayden Smith will be the batter. Hayden with an RBI single in the first inning. Jinky Tomita following Creighton Tuzio and Jack Galanita. Tomita is making his 4th appearance. He's worked 5 innings, 9 hits, 9 runs, all earned, 5 walks, 3 strikeouts. The pitch to Hayden Smith is lined into right field. Base hit. James Colella gets the ball back in. Salvione stops at second. Jackson Murphy, who had a 2-run double in the first inning, will come to the plate now for the Bend Elks. After giving up the 6 runs in the top of the first. Jack Alanita was able to come back and post a 0 last inning, but Bend threatening here now in the third. Jinky Tomita with 2 on and nobody out delivers, and the first pitch fastball misses to Jackson up and away. Ball 1. 1-0. Leadoff hitter Eli Pupo on deck. Tomita's 1-0 pitch is in the turf. Ball 2. 2-0. Vinny Salvione at second, Hayden Smith at first, nobody out. 6-4 Bend, top of the third inning. Big left-handed hitter Jackson Murphy climbing back in. Tomita out of the stretch, the runners go. The 2-0 pitch is way inside. The Knights throw through to second base to Ryan Severance. Dakota Chun's throw caught by Ryan but not in time. And both runners move up on the double steal. Salvione to third, Hayden Smith to second. 3-0 to Jackson Murphy. Huge jump on the part of Salvione, and the trail runner following Vinny's lead. The infield pulled in for the Knights. The 3-0 pitch, ball 4 to load him up. Eli Pupo will be the hitter. Eli has struck out and flied to center field. I remember reading somewhere, one of the Seattle Times writers, or it might have been the PI, back in the grand old 2 newspaper days in Seattle. Portland used to have 2, the Journal and the Oregonian. Many cities with 2, and some probably still do. A little of the give and take, the New York Times, the Daily News. I can hear it in my ear about Billy and the Post, yeah. The first pitch swung on and missed by Eli Pupo. The 0-1 pitch swung on and missed, and the count 0-2. But one of the writers dared to criticize the great Dave Niehaus for, Dave, with you complaining so much about how long the games are taking, people may think you're not having a good time. The strike 2 pitch in the turf, ball 1, 1-2. But Dave, bless, I mean, just one of the great voices ever and so fun to listen to. But there were a lot of long, miserable nights in those Mariner days, and he would occasionally draw attention to how long things were taking. The 1-2 pitch hit foul towards Waldo Hall and out of play. That's not my intent here. It's simply to underscore that it has a much different kind of feel than last night's rather tidy 2.5-hour game. And that's the beauty of the game of baseball. It varies. The 1-2 breaking ball taken. Strike 3 called. Good pitch from Jinky Tomita to get Eli Pupo. And Richie Klosik, who has been hit by a pitch and walked, makes his way to the plate with the bases loaded and 1 out. And the Knights, who had been playing in here on the field turf at Goss, now move the infield to double play depth up the middle with Jinky Tomita trying to throw a ground ball and get out of the inning unscathed. Bases loaded, 1 out. Tomita to the plate, fastball foul back. 0-1 to Richie Klosik. The right-hander Jinky Tomita, the third pitcher of the night for the Knights in this, the third inning. Comes set, delivers the 0-1 pitch, breaking ball away. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. Klosik is out of Houston. His dad was a football player in Lou Gehrig country at Columbia College in New York, New York. The 1-1 fastball inside, ball 2, 2-1. The Iron Horse played some football there too. Wasn't bad at baseball either. And then poor Gene Larkin. Gene went to Columbia and made it to the major leagues and had the game-winning hit in Game 7. But was always known as the guy that wasn't quite as good as the Iron Horse coming out of Columbia. The 2-1 pitch hit foul into Urchin Alley off to the right and out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out, bases loaded, top of the 3rd inning. Bend leading 6-4. Vinny Salvione at 3rd, Hayden Smith at 2nd, Jackson Murphy at 1st, Richie Klosick at the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jinky Tomita from the stretch delivers, swung on and missed, strike 3, 2 down. Big strikeout, back-to-back important strikeouts, putting Tomita and the Knights an out away from getting out of this and keeping themselves very much alive in this ball game. But Jace Miller, the batter, good hitter, good ball player, singled to left and scored in the Elks' 6-run first inning, aboard on an error last inning. Bases loaded, 2 down for Jinky Tomita. The pride of Grant High School to the plate, breaking ball in the turf. Ball 1, 1-0. Jinky ready, the right-hander to the plate, swung on and missed. And the count 1-1 to Jace. 6-4 Bend in the top of the 3rd, but a huge opportunity here for Jinky and the Knights to, again, keep the momentum squarely in their dugout. Bases loaded, 2 down. The 1-1 breaking ball hammered to left. Back on the ball goes Kellen Siegel, and the ball goes off the middle of the fence. Salvione scores, Hayden Smith scores. Stopping at 3rd base is Jackson Murphy. So a booming 2-run double for Jace Miller. Scratch that whole thing about momentum. Bend has it back, and they lead it again 8-4 on a 2-out, 2-run double off the bat of Jace Miller. Salvione and Murphy, or Smith, score with Murphy going to 3rd. And Cameron Beck, the batter. Cam has walked and scored and lined to center. So the Knights were a strike away from being very much sort of not necessarily in charge, but that sense of, hey, it's meant to be. We're going to come back and win this thing after all. Some of that feeling gone. And a ball hit halfway up the 14-foot fence in left field. Well done by Jace Miller. Cameron Beck takes low and inside from Jinky. Tomita's 1-0 pitch outside. Ball 2, 2-0. Well, that was close, and that's kind of been the tale of the season for the Knights. A strike away from getting out of an inning, a base hit away from getting back into the game. And it's kind of been like that all year long, reflected in the record of 21-19 coming in. The 2-0 pitch way outside, ball 3, and somebody has been dispatched almost in a sprint towards the Corvallis Knights bullpen to hasten activity behind Jinky Tomita. He's hit a batter, walked a batter, struck out 2, given up a couple of hits. The 3-0 pitch, Cameron Beck taking all the way, takes a strike, and the count 3-1. 8-4 Bend in the 3rd. Brady Pettit, the on-deck hitter. Jackson Murphy at 3rd. Jace Miller at 2nd, 2 down. The 3-1 pitch, a line drive base hit into right center field. Murphy scores. Jace Miller right behind him to score. The ball rolls all the way to the base of the fence in right center. Cameron Beck pulls into 2nd with a 2-run double. And Ben leads it by 6 again. Now the Elks 10 and the Knights 4. And the whooping and the hollering from within the boisterous Ben dugout ensuing. They're having a good time out there tonight. They lead it 10-4. 6 runs in the first, 4 here in the 3rd. Brady Pettit, the batter, he walked and scored in the first, struck out last inning. Knee-high strike from right-hander Jinky Tomita. 0-1 the count. In both of these big innings, the Knights were a pitch away from really minimizing damage. Make a play at third, the Elks get 1 run in the first. Throw 1 more strike, get 1 more out. They put up another 0 here in the fourth. Instead, 6 runs in the first, 4 here in the third. There goes a runner back to third. The throw down to third is dropped by Diego Cruz and thus did not have a chance to make a tag on Beck. It's a stolen base for Beck, not an error on Diego, but didn't field the throw from Dakota cleanly. So a stolen base for Beck. He's at third with 2 down. 10-4 Bend in the third. 0-2 to Brady Pettit. Jinky from the stretch delivers, and the strike 2 pitch missing. Down and in. Ball 1. 1-2 to Brady. Good crowd on this Seinfeld night. Jerry providing some laughs before the game with some of the clips of his better stand-up material and some clips of Seinfeld during the game, and we could use some laughs tonight. Another line drive base hit to center field here from Brady Pettit. An RBI single brings home Cameron Beck. 5 more runs in the inning. Ben leads it 11-4. Will Goodman, the batter. The second time that the Elks have batted around. Goodman is struck out and grounded to second. Jinky Tomita was a strike away from getting out of this with no runs on the board. Bo Kearns is being sent out here, and that is, I think, a couple of twofold. Bo is being sent out to buy time for whomever it is throwing in the Corvallis Knights bullpen. Brooke usually makes the changes. Bo is walking slowly out. Tonight's game certainly has not gone according to plan. Creighton Tuzio left in the first inning, and again, I think it had more to do with a physical matter with Creighton. He wasn't commanding his stuff necessarily either, but he didn't seem quite right physically, and in fact, Brooke Knight made a visit during the inning before taking Creighton out to check on the status of Creighton physically. Not long thereafter, Creighton was indeed coming out of the game. Jack Alanita came in, walked a run. He inherited a 2-0 count, walked in a run to make it 1-0 Bend, but then got a ground ball with the bases loaded that would have ended the inning and the damage had won. So it's just the Knights on the verge of being in this one, but they're back down now. It's 11-4. Bo Kearns with a visit, and Jinky Tomita goes to work now against Will Goodman and misses low for ball 1, 1-0. Home plate umpire Taylor Schneider looking over into the Knights dugout and saying something over there. Certainly couldn't have been about the pitch. It was quite low from Jinky, so I'm not sure what that exchange was all about. The 1-0 pitch, a tapper wide of third. Diego Cruz up with it and throws across to Ethan Porter to end the inning. But the Elks send 9 men to the plate in the inning, 5 score. And we go to the bottom of the third on this breezy, cool night. The Knights hoping to find a spark. Again, they came back from 6-0 down to pull within 2. Now they're down 7 as we go to the bottom of the third. 11-4 Bend. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Zane Garvey leading things off for the Knights as we go to the bottom of the third inning. 11-4 Bend. Zane Garvey fouls one back. Zane with an RBI ground out in the Knights' 3-run first inning. He takes the strike one pitch from Trevor Kaiser in there for strike two. Zane Garvey, Max Medina, and Kellen Siegel, the scheduled hitters. Kaiser back to the plate and misses high to Zane. Ball one. 1-2 the count. The Knights showed some mettle in coming back from a 6-run deficit with 3 in the bottom of the first and chipped away for a run last inning. The pitch to Garvey, missing up and away, ball two. So once again, the Knights are charged to try to do something similar and stay in this ball game. Long way to go, only the bottom of the third, down 11-4. The 2-2 pitch, Zane, a high fly ball to right center field. Klosik and Pupo going back. The center fielder, Pupo, calls and makes the catch, moving away from home plate towards the gap in right center field. One away, and Max Medina, the hitter. When you're bringing family and friends to Corvallis, give them a stay that's a total home run. At Hotel Corvallis, located in the heart of downtown, you can experience their famously comfortable beds, their retro boutique rooms, and their genuinely friendly service. Hotel Corvallis, the perfect launch pad for Knights games, Beaver games, campus visits, downtown adventures, and everything in between. Book direct at hotelcorvallis.com. Max Medina takes low and inside, ball one from Trevor Kaiser. The 1-0 pitch to Max misses high for ball two. Medina, an exciting 2-run swinging bunt single in the Knights' 3-run first. Takes down and in here, ball three, 3-0. Bottom of the third, 11-4 Elks. Maggie Hobart is bringing me a good baseball dinner. I haven't had one of the hamburgers that they make here all season, but that's going to change tonight. Thank you, Maggie. Maggie will be working on the live stream a little bit later. We've got a great crew tonight in that regard. The pitch, a strike, and the count 3-1 to Medina. Kaiser's 3-1 pitch is in there for strike two. 3-2 the count. To wit, Maggie, who will be on later, learning the ropes, running the sound for the live stream. The 3-2 pitch, ball four, and Medina drawing the 1-out walk. Kellen Siegel will be the hitter. Silas Castle, Quinn Stoffaker, Brian Thomas, Ailey Young, Taylor Bennett, and Maggie, all part of the crew this evening with Garrett Dworshak back in studio. Aiden O'Neill will be along a little bit later in the 5th and 6th innings to call the action here. We're only in the bottom of the third. The pitch to Kellen rolled foul past Brooke Knight. No balls and 1 strike to Kellen Siegel. James Colella, the on-deck hitter. 11-4 Bend, trying to get this series even. Kellen swings and misses in the count 0-2. Kellen drew a walk and stole a base in the Knights' productive first inning. 3 runs, 4 stolen bases, and cut a 6-0 deficit to 3. Medina at first, 1 out. Kaiser throws over there. Brooks Hatch may provide a full roundup of former Knights and Beavers later. Whether Michael Conforto appears on the list, we'll find out. Breaking ball taken by Siegel, strike 3 called. 2 down, and James Colella to the plate. Was really surprised that yesterday when we passed along that information that Michael Conforto with a pinch hit home run, his 4th of the year, had tied the Cubs record for most pinch hit home runs in a season. Glenn Allen Hill back in 1999. The first pitch missing inside to James Colella. James lined out back to Trevor Kaiser in the first. I mean, given how long the Cubs have been playing the game, good for Michael to be on a list in one of the storied franchises. If he hits one more, the record's his. A comebacker fielded by Trevor Kaiser, and he flips to first to Cameron Beck for out number 3. A one-out walk and nothing more for the Knights in the third. We are through 3. A new pitcher coming in for the Knights. We'll take a 2-minute pitching change break. After 3, Bend 11, the Knights 4, back in 2 on the live stream and Joe Radio. Through 3 innings at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field, the Bend Elks 11 runs, 7 hits, and no errors. The Knights 4 runs, 4 hits, and 2 errors. Blake Sebastian is the new pitcher. His first pitch to Vinny Salvione misses for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch is ball 2. 2-0 between innings on this Seinfeld night. Seinfeld trivia questions with clips, and had us all chuckling, guffawing, smiling a little bit. And more of that, please. A ground ball back of third. Good play by Diego Cruz getting to the ball, backhanding it, throwing, not in time, but a good effort by Diego. Salvione is aboard on the infield single. Hayden Smith will come to the plate. Hayden is 2 for 2 with a run driven in and 2 runs scored. But the Seinfeld clips did lighten the mood a bit. It's 11-4 Bend in the 4th. Blake Sebastian, the 4th pitcher of the night for the Knights, delivers. Fastball down and away, ball 1. Remember, tomorrow is Wilson Motors Night. You still have a chance to get the free tickets at 5th and Buchanan in Corvallis for the 6:35 affair, the series finale. And most likely, quite honestly, it feels like it's going to be a rubber game, right? The Knights winning last night 3-1, trailing tonight 11-4 in the 4th. But if you can keep stacking series wins, you have a chance to be in the money again. The Knights have never missed the playoffs. The top 4 teams from each division do make the postseason. So half of the clubs of the 16. The 2-0 pitch missing up and in, ball 3 to Hayden Smith. The Knights starting tonight at 10-6. Half game back of Walla Walla. The Walla Walla at 10-6. The Knights at 8-5. The Pickles at 9-7. The 3-0 pitch is inside, ball 4. An infield single for Vinny Salvione. A walk to Hayden Smith. Jackson Murphy the batter. 2 on, nobody out, and Ben trying to just continue to inflict pain upon the Knights. And this, the second game of the series, dominated by the visitors from beautiful Central Oregon. How beautiful today, I'm not sure. I'm going to check the AQI here in a moment. Sebastian looks at Ryan Severns darting in behind Salvione at second. Blake to the plate and misses outside, ball 1. I mentioned yesterday that we'd talk at some point about the greatest Bend Elk ever. Jacoby's in the conversation certainly, but it's probably the late great Johnny Pesky. The 1-0 pitch missing down and away, ball 2, 2-0. Pesky played with the Bend Elks in the summers of 1936 and 1937. So 90 years ago, Johnny, a young man out of Portland, playing baseball for Bend. Bo Kearns asking for time and coming out to the mound. Johnny Pesky Paveskovich, Jacob Paveskovich, Johnny's father, arrived in America in 1912 from the Austro-Hungarian Empire. He came over, which I find this rather amazing, that the Paveskoviches came over with the Loliches. And so 2 of the legendary players in the state of Oregon history came over, emigrated around the same time, 1912. The Paveskoviches and the Loliches, the granddad of Mickey Lolich. Mickey Lolich, great player. Johnny Pesky, outstanding player for the Boston Red Sox, but summered with the Bend Elks in 36 and 37. And in 1938, Johnny was playing for a team in Silverton when a Cardinal scout came to a game, and scout saw Johnny hit and offered him $1,500 on the spot, which is a lot of money. The runners go, the pitch is outside, there's no throw, and so a double steal for Bend. Vinny Salvione to third, and into second base goes Hayden Smith. Jackson Murphy with a count of 3 balls and no strikes with first base open. Eli Pupo on deck. The infield in for the Knights, trailing 11-4. Sebastian's 3-0 pitch is low to load him up. Eli 0 for 3 will come to the plate. Jacob Paveskovich's wife, Johnny's mother, was taken, though, by a Red Sox scout by the name of Ernie Johnson. Ernie offered $500. The Cardinals are offering $1,500. This is in 1938. Johnny said, "Mom, let's take the Cardinals offer." The pitch in there for a strike and the count 0-1. And Johnny, a pretty shrewd fellow, right? Bases loaded, nobody out here. The strike 1 pitch gets away from Dakota Chun. Vinny Salvione down the line to score. And the Elks lead it 12-4. And what I assume will be a wild pitch, although Dakota Chun appeared to get quite a bit of leather on it. Hayden Smith into third, Jackson Murphy into second. Eli Pupo with a count of 1 ball and 1 strike, 12-4 Bend. The Knights continue to bring their infield in. The big right-hander Blake Sebastian from the stretch delivers a strike in the count 1-2. But Ernie Johnson had made a great impression on Mrs. Paveskovich, Johnny Pesky's mother. Johnny changed his name legally in 1947 to Pesky. The 1-2 pitch, good block by Dakota Chun, and a pitch in the turf in the count 2-2. And Ernie had said, I will take care of your son. We will look after your son. I will take care of him. The Cardinals guy just offered $1,500. Mrs. Paveskovich enjoyed the sound of Ernie, and it turned out to be true. Ernie kept an eye on and took good care of Johnny, and the rest is glorious Red Sox history. The pitch missing high, ball 3, 3-2. The 3-2 pitch misses for ball 4 to reload the bases, and Richie Klosik will be the batter. Brooke Knight is taking a step out in front of the Knights dugout. He's yet to go any further than that. Kind of like the horse is galloping out of the barn right now. I'm not sure he's necessarily keen on making another pitching change. So he's going to leave Blake Sebastian out there, although I'm sure there's some activity going on behind Blake. The pitch on the way is way outside, ball 1, 1-0 to Richie Klosik. 12-4 Bend, bases loaded. Top of the 4th inning, nobody out, a run in. The infield pulled all the way in. The 1-0 pitch from Blake, breaking ball up, ball 2, 2-0. Jace Miller on deck. Johnny led the American League in hits in each of his first 3 seasons in the big leagues, 200 plus each year. The 2-0 pitch swung on and pounded foul at the plate, and the count 2-1. Now, there was some separation there. 1942, the former Bend Elk, Johnny Pesky, led the American League in hits, and then there was a little bit of a pause for a lot of our great young men, and he did not return to the big leagues until after World War II in 46, led the league in hits in 46 and 47. Helped the Red Sox go to the World Series in 46. Breaking ball up from Blake Sebastian, ball 3, 3-1 to Klosik. And here, 90 years later, the Bend Elks of today with a 12-4 lead. Top of the 4th inning. The 3-1 pitch swung on and missed by Klosik, and the count 3-2. Most baseball historians have refuted the myth that Johnny held onto the ball while Enish scored from first on what was not a single but a double. That's also been revised. This idea that Johnny was out there looking at the stitching at the ball, holding the ball while Enish scored what proved to be the winning run in Game 7 of the 46 World Series. Johnny had to live with that much of his life, and it turned out it was never true. The 3-2 pitch swung on and missed by Klosik. Strike 3, 1 away. Jace Miller, the batter. Blake Sebastian trying to fight through some control difficulties. 3 straight walks after an infield single, and find himself and stay in the game as long as he can. Bend leading 12-4. The first pitch to Jace Miller swung on and missed, and the count 0-1. It was one of the great sports writers of all time, Red Smith, that kind of perpetuated the idea that Johnny Pesky was just simply out there holding the ball on the relay from Leon Culbertson. Swung on and missed. Good slider from Blake Sebastian. He's ahead of the count to Jace Miller, 0-2. And the myth that Johnny held onto the ball is eloquently written about by Roger Angell in his essay on the flowering and subsequent deflowering of New England. The Red Sox 1967 season, Roger Angell revisits that. The strike 2 fastball taken, strike 3 called, 2 down. Nice job by Blake Sebastian. A rough start, no question, to the inning. An infield single for Vinny Salvione with 3 consecutive walks thereafter. But back-to-back strikeouts. Cameron Beck, the hitter. Cameron has walked, lined out, and doubled home 2 runs. The first pitch to the Oregon State sophomore-to-be misses for ball 1, 1-0. Sebastian from the stretch, and the 1-0 pitch taken for a strike. The count 1-1. Blake 6'6", 230, Leawood, Kansas. Pitching for Nebraska. Comes to the plate, good fastball, swung on and missed, and the count 1-2. And just when it appeared, like I said, Brook had a step out. I thought he might be coming out to go get Blake and then settled back into the dugout, leaving Blake out there to work through it. Blake is a strike away from minimizing damage. The 1-2 breaking ball down, ball 2, 2-2. 12-4 Bend, trying to continue to break this thing wide open with the bases loaded and 2 down. The 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Strike 3 to end the inning. Well, after a rough start, Blake finishes the inning in a very impressive fashion. 1 run on a hit, 3 walks, but then 3 strikeouts from Blake to just kind of keep the Knights on the fringe of contention. Any more runs, you feel like, going to be tough, and it's going to be tough as it is, but a good job by Sebastian after giving up the 1 run. We go to the bottom of the 4th. It is Bend 12 and the Knights 4, back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Berkeley Rents takes Trevor Kaiser's first pitch in the bottom of the 4th. Down and away. The 1-0 pitch also misses. Berkeley walked and scored in the 2nd. 2-0 the count here in the bottom of the 4th. 12-4 Elks. The 2-0 pitch misses for ball 3. 3-0. The 3-0 pitch in there for a strike, the count 3-1. I enjoy that story about Johnny Pesky, the former Slabtown resident in Portland, lived near Vaughn Street. In fact, about 4 blocks from where the Portland Beavers played. Johnny was a clubhouse boy for the Portland Beavers in the halcyon days of the Pacific Coast League, and the likes of Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio coming into that ballpark, and Satchel Paige and Josh Gibson on barnstorming tours. The 3-2 pitch to Berkeley misses high, ball 4. Johnny was a little bit younger and was well known when he got to the big leagues. Oh, you're that clubhouse boy in Portland, right? A really wonderful Beaver State story, Johnny Pesky, and going to the, when he finally was signed by the Red Sox scout and was sent to the minor leagues, leaving the state of Oregon for the first time in the spring of 1939 after a couple of summers with the Bend Elks and one in Silverton. Diego Cruz, the batter, takes high and away, ball 1, 1-0. 12-4 Bend, bottom of the 4th inning. He came under the tutelage in the minor leagues of a guy named Heine Manouche, who really did teach him how to hit. The 1-0 pitch. Diego, a fly ball to right field, pretty well struck. Richie Klosik on the move, can't get it. The ball lands between Klosik and Pupo. Rounding third, on his way to the plate is Berkeley Rentz. He will score. Diego Cruz with a double to right center field. Now Bend 12 and the Knights 5. Ethan Porter, the batter. Alan Cox is on his way to the mound, and I think that's going to do it for Trevor Kaiser. With an 8-run lead going into the inning, a leadoff walk, followed by a well-struck double by Diego Cruz. Diego hasn't had a strong defensive game, but he continues to swing the bat well. And he drives a double here to score Berkeley Rentz, who had walked. Alan Cox descends the backside of the mound and begins to walk toward his own bullpen as if to say, did anybody get my message? There is a new guy coming in, and as that new guy comes in from out of the Bend Elks bullpen beyond the left field fence, we'll take a 2-minute pitching change break as the Knights, who were down 6-0 and crept within 6-4, are now down 12-5 and hoping to kind of creep back again. 12-5 Bend back in 2 in the bottom of the 4th on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG. Bottom of the 4th inning, 12-5 Bend. Diego Cruz at second. Ethan Porter, the batter. Ethan, a line drive fair down the right field line into the corner. Diego will cruise home. Ethan Porter gets to second, digging for third, and he will get there. Now the ball went into out of play territory, evidently, and it'll be thus a ground rule double for Ethan Porter. Now Porter dug around second, racing to third. The home plate umpire and base umpire, Bryce Reeves, threw his hands up when the right fielder, Richie Klosik, claimed that the ball had gone into out-of-play territory. So Diego scores on the double by Ethan Porter. The Knights
again, trying to fight their way back. It's now 12-6. Brooke Knight is trying to convince Bryce Reeves, the base umpire, that Porter should get third base here, that the ball didn't go out into out-of-play territory until Porter was well on his way to third and would have gotten there, but I don't think that's quite how it works. So it's a break of sorts for Bend in that regard, evidently. But Ethan hitting the ball well to the opposite field for a run batted in. The Knights score a couple and still have a long way to go at 12-6. But Ethan Porter with another run batted in, his 25th of the season. Dakota Chun is 2 for 2 with a run scored and an RBI at the plate. Takes a first pitch strike from Jared Robles. The 0-1 pitch rolled foul outside of first, and the count quickly 0-2 to Dakota. Jared Robles, the new pitcher for the Bend Elks, making his team-leading 15th appearance of the summer. A record of 3-0, an ERA of 3.92, a couple of saves, 20 2/3 innings, just 15 hits, but 13 walks, 21 strikeouts. He's ahead to Chun, 0-2, and nearly hit Dakota with a breaking ball down and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Jared Robles, a right-hander out of East Los Angeles, and went to the same high school as Oregon State's Paul Vasquez, South Hills High School, and a competitor at Cal State LA. The 1-2 pitch is a wild one off the mitt of the catcher Hayden Smith to the backstop, so Porter ends up at third base anyway with nobody out. The count going to 2-2. Bottom of the 4th inning, 12-6. I've got to give the Knights some credit in a rough night in most respects. They're continuing to kind of scratch and claw and trying to draw a little bit closer here now. And a good RBI opportunity for Dakota Chun. He taps one foul at the plate. The count remains 2-2. Jared Robles working with Hayden Smith, with Cam Beck at first base, Vinny Salvione at second, Will Goodman at short, Brady Pettit at third, Jackson Murphy in left, Eli Pupo in center, Richie Klosick in right. The infield at normal depth. The 2-2 pitch, a ground ball back up the middle into center field. Base hit. Dakota Chun is 3 for 3 with 2 RBIs. Ethan Porter trots home. Now Bend 12 and the Knights 7. Ryan Severns will be the hitter.
UC Santa Barbara, the shortstop, number 28, Ryan Severns.
Ryan Severns at the plate. The pitch on the way to Ryan, the Knight shortstop, misses down and away from Jared Robles. 1 ball and no strikes the count. Conforto got a start tonight. Need to bring him off the bench. He went 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. The 1-0 pitch, Severns checks his swing on appeal. No swing, says Bryce Reeves. And Severns has the count his way, 2-0. Brooks Hatch delivering the news. Michael 0 for 3 and the Cubs 5-1 loss to the Tigers as a starter with 3 strikeouts. The 2-0 pitch to Severns, lined into left field, base hit. Dakota Chun will stop at second. Ryan Severns with a solid single to left. 2 on, nobody out. Zane Garvey to the plate. The Knights trailing 12-7, but have scored 3. And here comes pitching coach Wes Harper for a visit with Jared Robles. Wade Meckler went 2 for 3 for the LA Angels today in a loss by the Angels to St. Louis. Brandon Eisert, 2/3 of an inning. It did not go well. The losing pitcher in the Pirates' 2-0 loss to the Yankees. Eisert, 2/3, 2 hits, 2 runs, both earned, a walk and a strikeout. I fear that that's a 2-run home run by somebody. Maybe Sidney can check out. Eisert, no, but he gave up 2 runs, though. The only 2 runs of the game, and he takes the loss. Okay. But not a 2-run home run. Wes Harper with a pretty quick visit. Zane Garvey, the batter. The Knights trailing 12-7. But have made it interesting here in the bottom of the 4th. Garvey shows bunt. Pulls the bat back and takes outside, ball 1, 1-0. Zane with an RBI ground out in the 1st, fly to center in the 3rd. Bottom of the 4th, 12-7 Bend. Robles to the plate, and the pitch goes off the mid of the catcher, Hayden Smith, to the backstop. Not a foul ball, evidently, and maybe a passed ball on the part of Hayden Smith. I think Hayden was expecting that to be called a foul ball on a fouled bunt attempt. Instead, it's ball 2. And so the effect of the sacrifice is accomplished. Alan Cox is walking in front of the Bend Elks dugout saying, wait a minute now, I want you to ask your partner, did he offer at the bunt? And no, says the base umpire, Bryce Reeves. So no bunt attempt, certainly not a foul ball, therefore. And the count now 2-0 to Zane Garvey, who without having to bunt now has runners at 2nd and 3rd and nobody out. The pitch to Zane, a knee-high fastball for a strike. The count 2-1. A base hit would likely draw the Knights to within 3 in this crazy ball game at Goss Stadium of Coleman Field. The 2-1 pitch just outside, ball 3, 3-1. Max Medina on deck. Dakota Chun at 3rd, Ryan Severns at 2nd. 3-1 to Zane Garvey. Zane swings and fouls it straight back. The count goes full to 3-2. A right-hander is throwing in the bullpen for the Bend Elks. And the fans trying to get into it now here on this Seinfeld at night. The 3-2 pitch on the way to Garvey, taken. Strike 3 calls. 1 away. Big pitch from Jared Robles to get an out when he really needed it. That's still only 1 out. Max Medina, the batter. And the Knights have a chance to draw a little closer with an out. The Knights had 2 sacrifice flies in last night's 3-1 win. Medina has a 2-run infield single. First pitch gets away from the catcher, and coming down the line to score is Dakota Chun. Hayden Smith feeding the ball to Robles too late. Dakota scores. It is now 12-8. Bend with Dakota Chun coming down the line on the wild pitch, and Ryan Severns scooting to 3rd. So Max Medina with an opportunity to get another run home with an out. The infield will play back, but the Knights have scored 4, trailing 12-4 going into the inning, now 12-8. Medina, a one-hopper at the first baseman, Cameron Beck, and Severns has to hold. That's a huge out. 2 down. Kellen Siegel, the batter, huge in that it still keeps 12-9 feels. I know it's only 1 run, but it just feels and sounds a lot different than 12-8. Just in terms of that sense of pressure on Bend. The pitch to Kellen, breaking ball down and away, ball 1 from Jared Robles. 1-0 the count. Ryan Severns at 3rd, 2 down. But the Knights, again, have fought back to at least give themselves a look at this ball game, down 12-8 in the 4th. The 1-0 pitch, Kellen looking to bunt for a hit and for a run. misses the bunt attempt. 1-1 the count. Kellen is walked and struck out.
Charge! Charge!
Robles works out of the stretch. The 1-1 pitch. Sprayed foul down the right field line and well out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kellen Siegel. Jared Robles kicks and delivers. Breaking ball taken, strike 3 called. So the Knights really had a chance. They do a good job, don't get me wrong. They get 4, but they had a chance to continue to put pressure on. But Robles comes back to get 2 strikeouts and a ground out. And that is that, but that does get the Knights back in the game. They score 4. We go to the top of the 5th. Ben 12, the Knights 8, back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
No matter what team you're on, no matter where you explore, there's a Richardson for you. We don't just give you our word, we give you our name. We started over 50 years ago as a hometown sporting goods business, with a particular devotion to America's pastime. As we grew, so did demand for our products, both on and off the field of play. Today we serve teams, brands, and businesses, and we've earned our reputation as the best. We did it through our devotion to our craft and our customers. We've built our business on the spirit of competition and the thrill of adventure, with a relentless focus on details and an enduring commitment to quality in every stitch. We've set a high bar for ourselves because you've made our team part of your team. And your team deserves the best.
Well, he's featured in an excellent story in the May-June edition of Bend Magazine. Check it out. The voice of the Bend Elks, Aiden O'Neill from Arizona State, recently earned national recognition, as we talked about yesterday. He's got you for the 5th and 6th innings as we carry on at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field in a strange ball game. Bend 12, the Knights 8. Aiden, you got to take it away.
Thank you so much, legendary broadcaster Oregon State and your Corvallis Knights tied it up 11-6. Pettit takes a strike at the top of the zone. Talk about a wild game. Yesterday's total was under 2 hours and 30 minutes. We're almost through that mark of the 5th inning. Pettit goes around. 1-1 pitch. Still going righty for the Corvallis Knights. Pettit, Goodman, and Salvio in this frame. 5, 6, and 7 in the order for Bend. As Pettit grounds one to the third baseman and Cruz ranging to his left. His throw to first. 1 out. That'll bring up Will Goodman. Brooke Knight and his coaching staff hoping that Sebastian can give him some length. Still want to save as much bullpen as you possibly can for tomorrow's series finale. Sebastian has been known for that on the Bend broadcast, mentioned his 12th appearance this year with the Knights as Goodman goes around on the slider. Will is 0 for 3 tonight. One of the few Elks that hasn't gotten in on the party. Swing through that one as well. Gorgeous night setting overhead with heavy cotton candy style clouds and the sun shining off of it. Thunderstorms in the area, but fortunate to keep this game rolling along as Goodman gets the tower buzzed, but not plunked on a fastball up and in.
2 crooked numbers holding strong for the Elks. 6 runs in the first and 5 in the third. As Goodman swings through it, and Blake Sebastian picks up the punch out. He got that swing and miss going at the end of the fourth and struck out the last 3 batters of the inning in order, Klosick, Miller, and Beck. Make that now 4 Ks from the righty from Kansas. And Vinny Salvione will bat. Take a fastball for a strike at 90. Loads of potential from this right-hander in Blake Sebastian, redshirted his freshman year in Nebraska. And you think about that future in the Big Ten. Chance to shine. Salvione takes up. Vinny, a guy for the Elks, used to this Knights-Elks rivalry that's gone back to the beginning of the West Coast League. 2 of the original teams. And Vinny in his 3rd year with the Elks. Take a slider that misses down and away. So far tonight, Salvione has reached in all 3 plate appearances. Take that fastball just out of the strike zone. But his aggressive base running, Salvione's brought him around to score in the 4th. On the 3-1, he'll take a fastball that misses low, and ball 4. Make that 4 straight plate appearances now for Vinny, where he's found himself on first base. That'll now bring up Hayden Smith, who's had one of his best nights in an Elks uniform. Smith with a pair of hits and a walk. Vinny goes. Breaking ball misses down. The throw down to second. Not in time. It looked like it was on the money from Dakota Chun. And the tag applied by Severns. But not called an out. Risky from Vinny, but that's his 3rd stolen base of the night. His first 2 came when stealing 3rd. Gives Smith an RBI chance as he takes a fastball that gets the bottom of the zone. You can't have too many runs in a game like this. Feels like it's just now beginning to tell its story. 1-1 to Smith, runs in tight. Game 3 of this series, same time tomorrow night. Place at Goss Stadium, where the Bend Elks are looking to rewrite their past history. Smith takes just down on the 2-1. Works himself into a hitter's count. You have to credit the bottom of this order. Hitters 7 through 9 in the Elks lineup have yet to be retired. And Smith's going to reach again on a base on balls. Corvallis gifting the Elks plenty of bases, and that's what's given them the 12 runs on just 8 hits. That's Harper down there with Smith at first. Now the left-handed bat, Jackson Murphy. Murphy fouls one right back to the net. On that fastball at 90. Ten walks or hit by pitches given up from the Corvallis Knights staff. His hand in the Elks base runners. Inside move from Sebastian. He'll throw to second. It gets away. Salvione up to 3rd. He's going to get the stop sign there. Smith to 2nd. Vinny laughing. He wanted to get the wave from Johnny Kemp. But an error on the starting pitcher in Blake Sebastian puts 2 Elks in scoring position. A costly 90 feet on both sides. That is the 3rd error of the night, too, for Corvallis. Murphy, who already has 2 runs batted in, a chance for more. 0-1 is foul back off the net. But even with that, Blake Sebastian, who's been known for the swing and a miss, figuring that out now with 4 strikeouts. That's line into left field and down for a hit. Salvione scores, Smith stops at third, and an RBI knock from Jackson Murphy makes it 13-8. In 4 of the 5 innings tonight, the Elks have scored, and the bottom of this order continues to lead the charge. Brings up Eli Pupo at the top of the order. 5th at bat for him in the 5th inning. Sebastian will pour in a strike on the outside corner. Great crowd on hand tonight, continuing to bring it. In a high-scoring game. Pupo dunks one into left. That's down for a hit. Smith's going to come in to score, and the Elks keep adding on. Couple of hits tonight that haven't been hit particularly hard, but they're still finding green grass. And Pupo that time doing exactly that. This 2 out hitting on Ben's side, their 14th run now.
Now batting right fielder number 31, Richie Kosak.
Digging in is Richie Klosik from the right side. Sebastian's slider runs down and away. Klosik no hits tonight, but reached on a hit by pitch, a walk, and has punched out a couple of times. Sebastian gets that strike. Pitch count at 55 after that one thrown. Going to keep that length going for Brook and Knight's group. That slider grounded softly to Severns at short. He comes in, throws to first on the run, and that'll end the inning. But not after the Elks get 2 in on a couple of 2-out RBI singles. We're back in 90 on the Knights live stream.
There is 1 night air and 2 runners left. To the bottom of the 5th we go. Your score, Ben 14.
Rolling with the crew, where good vibes meet good times. Retro keys, vintage vibes, unlock your next adventure. Poop's got the hookup too, belly rubs included. Space to kick back, laugh out loud, and just be. Hit the pop shop for quick snacks and take in the moment, or just chill with your pup and soak up the good life. Stay original at Hotel Corvallis.
Bottom of the 5th inning. Corvallis Knights coming up after the Elks get 2 more in the top half of the 5th. Aiden O'Neill up here. Thankful to Mike Parker for letting me fill in for these middle innings of work. Voice of the Bend Elks. So here on our YouTube live stream for the road trip, but popping over for a couple. Colella will start off this inning, then Rentz and the top of the order. You heard Robles' fastball misses in. Robles, a reliever for the Elks that has been utilized in a variety of different scenarios, including closing games, but tasked tonight with being the bridge guy to set up the later innings for the rest of this bullpen. 2-0 to Colella's fouled back. Newly committed to Pacific in Stockton in the West Coast Conference is Robles, after being at Cal State LA the last couple of seasons. His fastball there is called a strike, 2-2. Slight overshift to the left for the second baseman Salvione and the lefty bat in Colella. Who will line one into left center and down for a hit. James Colella gets things going with a hard turnaround first and will put the brakes on there. Mentioned last frame, in a game like this, 14-8, 22 combined runs already. The rest of this game and the story of it is yet to be told. We're only on chapter 1 or 2. 9-hole bat and Berkeley Rentz digs in. Robles will fill up the zone on a fastball. West Coast Conference that Jared Robles is joining, ever-changing. Gonzaga, of course, making the jump to the Pac-12. So an opportunity for a team like Pacific that had a decent year to take that leap. 0-1 is spiked down and in. They haven't wanted any piece, the Elks, with this 9-hole batter in Berkeley Rentz. He's walked a couple of times and has been able to keep that bat on his shoulders. The 1-1 popped up. Foul territory. Pettit gives it a look, and it goes foul. Gave it a chase, but just fell upon the orange seats scattered throughout Goss Stadium. As gorgeous of a venue as you can get for baseball. One, two. Misses up and away. Rentz, the Wilsonville, Oregon native. Tens George Fox. Crafty player in the 9-hole. Well, ground one to Salvione at second. Could be two. Flip to Goodman. Throw to first. A 4-6-3 twin killing. Gets Colella off the bases. And a much needed ground ball for Jared Robles.
Now batting from Oregon State University, the third baseman, number 11, Diego.
With two away, Diego Cruz will step up. Cruz had an RBI double in the fourth. Was running up there almost seeking to attempt an Ichiro slap hit, but opted to keep the bat on his shoulders. Creeping in at third is Brady Pettit. Maybe thinking about hitting it right past number 6 in that black pinstripe uniform. Cruz will take up and away, 2-0. Down that foul. Watch out in the Elks dugout. Looks like Will Cahill down there got a piece. Cruz, who's made a couple of errors in the field tonight at third. Tough position to play on this fast turf. Made up for it with an RBI double in the fourth inning. Been one of Brook Knight's most solid bats at the top of the order. He'll take a heater that just misses in. On deck, the All-Star Game MVP and Ethan Porter. Cruz can get on for him with even 2 outs. The Knights feel good about it. And he will on a base on balls. Cruz's 3rd time that he's reached tonight. And that will bring up Porter. Also with Cruz getting on, he's already stolen 1 base tonight, a lot of speed. And the prospect of potentially taking off with 2 outs, setting up Porter and a chance to knock him in scoring position. Robles fires. Fastball that trailed away. Last time that Robles worked was over the weekend against the Ridgefield Raptors. It was a bumpy outing for him where he only recorded 1 out. So looking to use this as a bounce back outing. But that pitch count already getting up there. Blows a fastball there by Porter. Prior to the 4th inning, Elks did a good job at holding Ethan Porter down. But he banged an RBI double in the first pitch that Robles threw in this outing. As he'll line one back up the middle and pick up another hit. Cruz moves up to second. Wide turnaround there. And this 2-out rally rolls on for the Knights.
Now the plate for the University of Portland, the catcher, number 17, Dakota Chun.
Gives Dakota Chun an opportunity. When you get a guy with as much power as Chun, one swing can change this game. Stealing on the pitch is Cruz. Smith's throw goes down there to third, and Pettit backpicked it. But Cruz able to swipe an extra 90 feet and get 90 feet closer to scoring. Rarely in the game of baseball do you see this many steals of third base in one contest. That's already been a lot to count. Chun grounds one to Goodman, who's right at the base. He'll touch second, and that will end the inning despite runners being on the corners. Robles pitches through the jam. 14-8 Elks. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream.
Okay, Knights fans, that brings us to the 80. Rolling with the crew, where good vibes meet good times. Retro keys, vintage vibes, unlock your next adventure. Poop's got the hookup too, belly rubs included. Space to kick back, laugh out loud, and just be. Hit the pop shop for quick snacks and take in the moment, or just chill with your pup and soak up the good life. Stay original at Hotel Corvallis.
We have Chloe as a winner over in the first base side. Who's going to be the winner of third base? And Boston is the winner.
Rolling along here in Corvallis, Oregon, 14-8. The Bend Elks on top, 10 hits on both sides, but 3 errors from Corvallis have been a big difference. Aiden O'Neill up here in the booth. Thanks to Mike Parker for letting me handle the middle innings. Cooper Markham, the new righty. on the hill for the Knights. This is their 5th pitcher used tonight. Yesterday's story was the dominant relief arms for the Knights, where they only had to throw 2 of them, and Marshall and Kozderka. 5 innings combined, 9 Ks for them, no walks, no hits. But Knight tonight looking for some outs. Heart of the order coming up for the Elks: Miller, Beck, and Pettit. Hitters 3, 4, and 5. As Miller on the first pitch will sky one to center. Medina's got a beat on it and makes the two-handed squeeze. Quick one out, retiring the former Oregon State Beaver and bringing up the current one in Beck.
Now batting first baseman number 39, Cam Beck.
Time is now called as New Armin Markham wants to chat with his catcher and Chun, just getting the signs all sorted away. Markham from the University of Oregon, so pitching in the enemy's ballpark here at Goss Stadium. That rivalry runs deep throughout this state. Each household usually leaning on one side or another. That rivalry reinvented here over the summer with Beck stepping up, the Oregon State Beaver, back here in his home ballpark, the Utah native. Markham's fastball misses up. Last time the Elks scored this many runs in a game, you'd have to go back to the month of June in a thrilling 15-13 win that they had over the Yakima Valley Pippins. Beck fouls one away just beyond home plate and off the bricks, right behind us in the press box. Cam Beck, a 2 RBI double, came in the 3rd inning, was a big hit for the big right-handed bat. Starting to see the ball much better. This time he fouls one just above us again, almost an identical spot. Reigning 6A Player of the Year in the state of Utah. And spoke with him pregame, telling me the reason he came here to Oregon State simply because of the culture and the sheer opportunity to play for such an esteemed program. He'll take a fastball on the outside corner, though, and Cooper Markham freezes him. 94 on the outer edge. Straight heat. And the first K for the hard-throwing righty.
Now at the plate, third baseman number 6, Brady Pettit.
That's the one thing. Even though the Elks have scored a lot tonight, with 14, they have punched out 10 times. Brady Pettit will take a strike at the knees. That's one thing that this bullpen has done. Making these Elks hitters think and freezing them at a high rate. Pettit's going to scold that one into right center field. Medina moving over, and he lets it fall in front of him for a base hit. Brady Pettit's 2nd hit of the night. He's been one of the Elks' best hitters. Keeps moving along. And Will Goodman will dig in.
Now batting shortstop number 4, Will.
Pettit familiar with playing in this very building in the Corvallis Regional 2 years ago now, when he was a part of the St. Mary's Gales, now committed to San Diego State. Goodman will take low, stop by Chun. But moments that the St. Mary's guys will never forget, playing here in Goss and also having those memories flood back this week. Goodman 0 for 4. Take a heater that just misses away. Goodman, the lone Elk tonight that hasn't reached base. All other 8 batters in the lineup have found themselves on to catapult to rally. 2-0, 2 outs, runner on first, 14-8 Elks here in the top of the 6th. Goody will take down and away, 3-0. The local product from Bend. Starting shortstop tonight. We'll take a heater away, and now Goodman has reached. So make that all 9 hitters in this Elks lineup that have at least gotten down to first. Gives Vinny Salvione a chance to bring in a couple of runs. Salvione has reached in all 4 of his plate appearances. And just one of those was a hit. Markham fires. Fastball that misses up. That velo difficult to pick up. When Markham finds that zone, he is deadly. Heater misses down low. Markham entering this out in 6 1/3, a 4.26 ERA. Now 12 Ks to 8 walks this summer. Salvione well ahead. Check his swing on a breaking ball that gets the bottom of the zone. Vinny, his whole baseball career coming in this very state of Oregon. Last year going to Bowling Green and in the transfer portal in his 3rd year as an Elk. Pettit on second, Goodman on first. And Vinny takes low. Great block by Dakota Chun beyond home plate. It's 3-1. Healthy lead for Pettit. You can't have too many runs in a game like this with 22 combined runs, 21 combined hits. And Salvione was looking to do damage but got a fastball blown by him. Action pitch coming up. 3-2, 2 outs in the top of the 6th. As soon as Markham commits home, both runners will be on the move. The payoff. Got him swinging. Cooper Markham. Right by Vinny Salvione, who was late on the 93-mile-per-hour heater. Much needed 0 for the Corvallis Knights staff, looking to build off of it with the bats. Back in 90 on the Knights live stream.
Rolling with the crew, where good vibes meet good times. Retro keys, vintage vibes, unlock your next adventure. Poop's got the hookup too, belly rubs included. Space to kick back, laugh out loud, and just be. Hit the pop shop for quick snacks and take in the moment, or just chill with your pup and soak up the good life. Stay original at Hotel Corvallis.
At Eugene Airport, we want to say thank you. Thank you to our community for choosing us to connect you to many destinations, other cultures, your families, and friends. Thank you to our dedicated and professional staff for ensuring the airport experience is excellent. And thank you to local residents and businesses for making us who we are. We are proud to serve you, our region, and beyond. Together, we continue to grow and thrive. Thank you for flying local and for flying EUG.
Nice to meet you. I'm listening, doing a nice job calling the game.
I appreciate it.
I'm up here by Mike most of the time.
Mike's great.
He's the best, man.
Yes.
Yeah, well, you're doing great.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We should talk more after.
Yeah. What? Just real quick. Where are you getting the? You're telling the speeds of the pitches. Where are you getting?
They have a little radar on the screen. I don't know where they get it from.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
So what was that last pitch? What was
93.
3. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Thanks, Dave.
good. Yes, sir. Cool.
New pitcher in the ball game for the Bend Elks. It's the crafty southpaw Jackson Ashley. Third pitcher in the game tonight for the Bend Elks. 14-8 the score. Aiden O'Neill up here in the booth. Thanks to Mike Parker. Final half inning for me. Then pass it back to the legend that you all love and absolutely should. Mike, so great to get to know him as Ashley misses down on that pitch. Severns, Garvey, and Medina. Hitters 4, 5, and 6 in this order coming up. Ashley just out of the stretch. Throwing a fastball that misses in tight. Jackson Ashley, a dominant lefty. .98 ERA and 10 innings of work. 2-0 to Severns. Kicks off the glove of Ashley. Goodman fields it deep in the hole. His throw to first, though, pushes back off the base. And Severns will reach.
Now at bat from the University of Portland, designated hitter, number 6, Garvey.
Now Zane Garvey. Ashley, the incoming freshman at Gonzaga. And so much room to grow into his own body. Works to Garvey, who checked his swing, but it's called a strike at the bottom of the zone. Garvey, RBI tonight that came in the first inning. Punched out his last time. 0-1 from Ashley, slashed foul. Earlier mentioned how Gonzaga now making the transition to the Pac-12 with all the changing parts in college athletics. Ashley will be part of the first year of that as he gets Garvey looking on a filthy breaking ball. That awkward arm slot, especially on the slider, impossible to predict. And it's Jackson's first K. Sets up on that first base side of the rubber. And the arm action is so awkward that you feel for these hitters. A lot of herky-jerky movement that's effective. Throws a strike there. Medina already a veteran hitter, despite being an incoming freshman at Cal Poly. 0-1 slider misses up and away. Brooke Knight, a keen eye for talent. Reason why Corvallis has been so dominant over the years. Winners of 10 league titles, didn't lose one from 2016 to 2023. And just watching Medina go about his business, and you see there the plate discipline. Feels like a guy that you'll look back on, say, I watched him with the Corvallis Knights. There's a lot of things well. As he slaps that foul, dribbles it by the Corvallis Knights dugout. Joining a Cal Poly program that had a legendary season, going to the Super Regional, falling out to West Virginia, who ultimately were one of the best teams in the entire nation. But Medina looking to wreak his own havoc, staying in state, being from Patterson, California. 3-2 with one out. Runner on first in Severns. And Ashley loses him on ball 4. A fastball that misses in tight. Elks pitching staff collectively has done a nice job at finding the zone. But not this time. Kellen Siegel gets to hit with a couple of runners on base. Oh for 2 he is. Take a fastball that's called a strike on the inside corner. Each team has had their fair share in crooked numbers tonight. Both teams with 2 of their own. First inning was bonkers, and then the Elks struck in the 3rd. Corvallis struck in the 4th. The first inning alone tonight had 9 combined runs. Felt like we were going to be in store for an offensive onslaught. Still could be that way, as Ashley gets the outer third there, 0-2. On second is Severns, on first is Medina. Ashley looking for a ground ball or a strikeout. And Siegel's gonna crush one. Deep to right field with backspin. Dead sprint to the track is Klosik. It bounces off the track and goes over the wall for a ground rule double. Kellen Siegel brings in a run. It's 14-9. And the Knights climbing right back in this game. A beautiful textbook swing of the bat from Kellen Siegel. Letting the fastball get deep, saw it at the top of the zone, and tomahawked it to right. Klosik had no chance at getting to it. And you're now in a position, if you're Corvallis, where a base hit completely changes this game. James Colella will offer at the first pitch he sees and swing through it. Incoming freshman at Seattle. Fouls that away. And a slight limp out of the box. Hope Colella's okay. Now going down and holding his ankle. Ball must have gotten a piece of that. The 1-out walk to Max Medina set the table for Kellen Siegel on that double. Now Medina on third, Siegel on second. Colella takes strike 3 on the outside corner. A huge strikeout from Jackson Ashley with 2 runners in scoring position. And both Ks for him this inning have come by the looking variety. Last chance this frame. Berkeley Rents, the lefty bat. Ashley throws his slider that misses away. Rents' last time grounded into a 4-6-3 double play that came in the 5th. This time will drive one to straightaway center field, but Pupo's got a beat on it and will reach up to make the one-handed catch and stop the rally. Corvallis gets 1 run in on the RBI double from Kellen Siegel. Mike Parker back to you all when we come back in 90 on the Corvallis Knights live stream.
Okay, Knights fans, it's time for some more Seinfeld trivia, and I'm over in section.
Welcome. We're looking to switch and heard about OCCU. In 20 words, what makes OCCU different?
OCCU has free interest earning checking, high yield savings, and a community focus.
That's only 11.
We're the credit union with duck and beaver cards.
Sounds like OCCU has a lot to offer.
OCCU has been around for 70 years. We've learned a thing or two.
Switch to OCCU. Apply online at myoccu.org or at your local branch.
Rolling with the crew, where good vibes meet good times. Retro keys, vintage vibes, unlock your next adventure. Poop's got the hookup too, belly rubs included. Space to kick back, laugh out loud, and just be. Hit the pop shop for quick snacks and take in the moment. Or just chill with your pup and soak up the good life. Stay original at Hotel Corvallis.
The seventh inning for the Elks, the catcher, number 12, Hayden Smith.
Through 6 innings at Goss Stadium of Coleman Field, Ben 14 runs, 11 hits, and no errors. The Knights 9 runs, 12 hits, and 3 errors. Cooper Markham going to work in the top of the 7th inning. Hayden Smith swinging and hits a fly ball to shallow left. Kellen Siegel moves in to make the catch. Cooper ready to go now to Jackson Murphy. First pitch misses low for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. 14-9 Bend in game 2. The Knights, though, keep kind of chipping away at the thing and keeping themselves still somewhat in the game. A ground ball to short, picked up cleanly by Ryan Severns. Throws over to first for out number 2. 2 quick outs. Eli Pupo, the batter, and Cooper Markham trying to achieve now the very elusive accomplishment of retiring the side in order. And he's 2/3 of the way there. 2 outs, nobody on. Bend with 6 runs in the first, 5 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth. We're in the 7th, 14-9 Elks. First ball swinging. Pupo swings and misses. 0-1 the count. The Knights with 3 in the first, 1 in the second, 4 in the fourth, 1 in the sixth. Cooper Markham out of the stretch with nobody on, delivers a tapper back to Cooper, and he's done it. He fields, underhands to first. A 1-2-3, top of the 7th inning. And at the end of 6 1/2, it remains Bend 14, the Corvallis Knights 9. Jackson Ashley back to the hill. His mom's in the ballpark here, Mari. And I'll tell you a little bit more about her own interesting story from her life at Oregon State when we return. Back in 90, 14-9 Bend on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Welcome. We're looking to switch and heard about OCCU. In 20 words, what makes OCCU different?
OCCU has free interest earning checking, high yield savings, and a community focus.
That's only 11.
We're the credit union with duck and beaver cards.
Sounds like OCCU has a lot to offer.
OCCU has been around for 70 years. We've learned a thing or two.
Switch to OCCU. Apply online at myoccu.org or at your local branch.
To work on Diego Cruz, missing with the first pitch to the Knights' leadoff hitter. The 1-0 pitch is slashed foul to the left. 1-1 the count to Diego. Bottom of the 7th inning, 14-9 Bend. Jackson Ashley's mother, Mari, was a former Benny Beaver. And in 1995, there goes the bat. Diego Cruz losing the bat, and it pinwheels above the Elks dugout on the first base side, retrieved by head coach Alan Cox, who hands The bat back to Diego. He's had a good night. He's used the bat well tonight. He singled to right and scored, grounded to second, had an RBI single and walked. He's had a good night offensively. 14-9. Jackson Ashley in the ball game. Jackson's mother, Mari, as I mentioned, Benny Beaver in 1995. Brooks Hatch remembers her. Brooks and I were talking about it while Aiden was on during the 5th and 6th innings here. The 1-2 pitch, Diego swings and misses, strike 3. The pitch was in the turf. The throw down to first gets Diego Cruz. He's been tough on left-handed hitters. He struck out James Colella, got Berkeley Rents to fly out, and strikes out Diego Cruz. One away, Ethan Porter, the batter. Brooks remembered the Benny Beaver that was knocked down twice in the 95 season across the way at Parker Stadium and had to be taken to the hospital once, and another time tended to in the Oregon State Athletic Training Room. Ground ball to second, fielded by Vinny Salvione, who throws Ethan Porter out. Quickly 2 down in the bottom of the 7th. Dakota Chun, who's had a good ball game, 3 for 3, 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs, and bounced into a force play coming to the plate. But Mari, Jackson's mother, Jackson Ashley, the pitcher, and doing a nice job here. Brooks did a story. He said he'd like to see Mari and talk to her about it. He remembers writing a story about the harrowing time for Mari. We couldn't, and I don't know Mari's maiden name, and Brooks couldn't quite remember it either, but he certainly remembers the incidents and the story. Pretty frightening for Benny Beaver to get knocked down twice in the same season and require medical assistance each time. And here she is tonight watching her son, Lo, these many years later, 31 years later in the ballpark. So she did okay. She survived it, but it had to be indeed a frightening experience. Her son, Jackson Ashley, comes to the plate, swung on and missed. He's pitched well. And the count goes to 1 ball and 2 strikes, and he is tough on those lefties. Breaking ball, swung on and missed, strike 3. And Jackson Ashley retires the side, and behold, both pitchers in the 7th retire the other guy, 1, 2, 3. That is indeed a rarity tonight. We go to the 8th, Bend 14, the Knights 9, back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Top of the 8th inning, Bend 14, the Corvallis Knights 9. I'm not sure that I've seen a man alone as much as I have in Knights CEO Dan Siegel, who has been working diligently and trying to put together a roster that can help the Knights compete at the highest level down the stretch, but I can tell this has been a tough season on Dan and a tough stretch, and he has been taking these ball games in. Right now he's sitting by himself below the McGrath family press box to the left. He wandered into the press box and uttered not a word, just grabbed his sweatshirt and headed back out. And you know, I can tell, and he's a competitive person and very talented, competitive, incredibly successful, and so this season's been a little rough on him, but he knows, I think he knows, as we all do, that that's the nature of things sometimes. Cooper Markham working on Richie Klosik ahead of the count 0-2. The strike 2 pitch popped up on the right side. Ethan Porter, the Knights' first baseman, is there to make the catch. One away in the top of the 8th, Ben 14 and the Knights 9. And I bring it up only because I have so much respect for him and know that he is taking it, you know, almost on a personal level and doing everything he can to try to get the Knights back into the right kind of frame of. And I think there's another player that may indeed be coming soon to the roster to try to help, again, the Knights make that big push that we've been speaking of almost proverbially, with apologies to Vince Lombardi. Breaking ball strike to Jace Miller, 0-1 the count. Top of the 8th inning, 14-9 Bend. Markham to the plate, Cooper misses high. Chris Gariano is a financial advisor in Albany. He's worked with individuals, small and large businesses, and to other organizations for over 25 years. He's in downtown Albany, near the post office in Carousel at 150 Southwest Calipoia Street at Suite C. Chris Gariano, financial advisor in Albany. Give him a call, 541-926-9700. That's 926-9700. Jace takes down and away, ball 2, 2-1. 14-9 Bend in the 8th. Fastball in there for a strike. And the count 2-2. Jace has had a good ball game, singled and scored in the Elks' 6-run first inning. Has since been aboard on an error, had a 2-run double. Struck out and flied to center, looking for his 3rd hit of the night. Cooper Markham out of the stretch, delivers, breaking ball, swung on and missed. Strike 3. 2 down. 6 straight retired by Cooper Markham. And Cameron Beck makes his way to the plate. Cameron walked and scored in the big 6-run first inning that the Knights have not been able to fully recover from. Now, they do have 9 runs, so 6 wasn't enough to beat them, but they've been chasing all night long. 6, half of which were unearned against the Knights in that first inning, and that's, again, by reckoning clean slate from a scoring standpoint, but they were one defensive play away from allowing just 1 run instead of 6 in the first inning. And what a difference that would have made. Beck takes down and away from Markham. The 1-0 pitch in there for a strike. A little future battle here in Civil War baseball. Cooper Markham for Oregon. Cameron Beck for Oregon State. Markham delivers and misses down and away. Ball 2, 2-1. In this case, it's Cooper pitching in his home ballpark at Goss Stadium at Coleman Field against Cameron Beck, who's summering in Bend. 2 balls and 1 strike the count. The 2-1 pitch is in the turf. Ball 3, 3-1. If you live or work in one of 24 Western or Central Oregon counties, you're entitled to membership privileges in the full financial services of Oregon State Credit Union, who once again sponsored our big fireworks show on July 3rd. The 3-1 pitch, Cameron tried to check his swing but went around, and the count goes full to 3-2. A great crew tonight, and all getting some experience within our live stream. Maggie Hobart on the headset now. Haley Young, Taylor Bennett, Brian Thomas, Quinn Stoffaker, and Silas Castle, all part of the broadcast tonight. The 3-2 pitch to Cameron Beck misses. Ball 4, in and out of the mid of Knights catcher Dakota Chun. That breaks the string. 6 batters in a row had been retired. Noteworthy given the overall tenor of the game tonight. A 2-out free pass issued, and now Brady Pettit at the plate. Brady has walked and scored, struck out, singled home a run, grounded out, and struck out again. Pettit takes a first pitch just outside, ball one, 1-0. The series finale tomorrow, 6:35 with a 6:20 pregame. Cooper back to the plate, good slider in there for a strike, and the count 1-1. Wilson Motors night, one more chance to get to the dealership. They're in business hours tomorrow, 6:35 game. They'll give you tickets. So if you don't have any, make sure you get by Wilson Motors. They still have some left. You can pop in tomorrow and get your free tickets for tomorrow night's ball game. To wrap up this homestand for the Knights, they head to Yakima Valley this weekend for 3, a day off Monday, and then begin a 6-game homestand next weekend, Ridgefield and the Pippins here. The 2-1 pitch missing, ball 3, 3-1 to Brady Pettit. The 3-1 pitch is down and away for ball 4. Cooper Markham had been sailing along with 6 straight retired, but has issued back-to-back walks after 2 outs here in the 8th inning, and Will Goodman, the batter, and that will provoke some activity in the Corvallis Knights bullpen and impel Bo Kearns to make a little slow walk out to the mound. The pride of Lewiston, Lewis Clark State, Bo Kearns, the outstanding pitching coach, I'm sure has been a bit puzzled too, like Dan, like Brooke, like even yours truly to some extent, like all of us involved with the Knights from the early days. Dan, the CEO and founder back in 1990, bringing the Corvallis Knights here in the summer of 2007 for that first season. And take a look at the standings up on the board. Overall, the Knights at 21-19. Walla Walla with the best overall record in the South. Ridgefield clinching the first half, has a playoff spot already cinched and will host in the first round. Wenatchee leading the North, a 4-game overall advantage against the Bellingham Bell. But Bo out for a visit with Cooper Markham, who has been good. A little bit of control difficulty here to try to end the 8th. Delivers a breaking ball to Will Goodman. Swung on and missed. 0-1 the count. Knights pitchers have issued 12 walks tonight. Slider in there for a strike, and the count 0-2. To go along with 2 hit batters. So 14 free passes for Knights pitching tonight, and that goes a long way in explaining the numbers on the board. Ben 14, the Knights 9. Markham delivers, and after the visit from Bo Kearns, salutary effect. Swung on and missed, strike 3 to retire the side. No runs, no hits, 2 walks, 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 8th, Bend 14, the Knights 9, and we'll be back in 90 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio.
Well, we'd be remiss if we did not mention Festivus on Seinfeld night, and it looks like Mac is skipping right to the feats of strength. Come on, Quinn, let him have it.
Welcome. We're looking to switch and heard about OCCU. In 20 words, what makes OCCU different?
OCCU has free interest-earning checking, high-yield savings, and a community focus.
That's only 11.
We're the credit union with duck and beaver cards.
Sounds like OCCU has a lot to offer.
OCCU has been around for 70 years. We've learned a thing or two.
Switch to OCCU. Apply online at myoccu.org or at your local branch.
Bottom of the 8th inning. The Bend Elks 14, the Corvallis Knights 9. Left-hander Jackson Ashley, who's been very good. Jackson delivers to Ryan Severns low and inside for ball 1. Jackson just graduated from Oregon City High School and is an incoming freshman to Gonzaga. The 1-0 pitch, I like the looks of this guy's arm angle and stuff. He's pitched well, and he looks particularly tough against left-handers. The pitch to Severns fouled at the plate. 0-2 the count. Ryan's had a good ball game. He's been hit by a pitch, scored a run, had an infield single and scored. And also had a base hit to left. Severns takes a strike. He's down in the count, 1-2. Ashley delivers and misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes. I may have to try, if I can, tomorrow to connect Brooks with Mari, Jackson's mother, to revisit that old story. Severns a chopper to shortstop, fielded by Goodman. His throw on a hop is dug out by Cameron Beck. Nice play by Cameron, 1 away in the bottom of the 8th, and Zane Garvey, the batter.
From the University of Portland, the designated hitter, number 6, Zane Garvey.
Zane up 4 times last night, on base all 4 times, 2 hits and 2 RBIs. Has an RBI ground out tonight, is 0 for 4. He takes a strike, 0-1 the count. 14-9 Elks, trying to get this series even and closing in on it. The strike 1 pitch is in there, and the count 0-2. Jackson Ashley comes set, the lefty to the plate. The strike 2 breaking ball taken. Strike 3 called. He is tough on left-handers. That's going to be a really big dimension in his game. The 6'4", 220-pounder out of Oregon City. And just watching the arm angle and all of that, I mean, I don't know on what basis, believe me, I sure don't. In terms of who ends up where and why. Gonzaga's a good baseball program, but a kid out of Oregon City, kind of like the moxie, the look that Jackson has shown, and it looks as though, I mean, no disrespect to Gonzaga. Tom Gorman, Goose Gorfax, Tom Gorman of New York Mets fame in the mid-'80s, known around here as Goose Gorfax for the combination of Goose Gossage and Koufax stuff for Gorman. Gorman chose Gonzaga over Oregon State. Breaking ball away. Well, he said his parents chose it for him. Tom told me he really didn't have much choice in the matter. The pitch missing to Medina. 2 balls and a strike. Ashley to the plate and misses down and in, ball 3. All I'm saying is I have no idea what the recruitment process was like for this young man. But he is an Oregonian who ends up in Gonzaga, so I don't know if Oregon State or Oregon showed any interest in him or not. I just kind of like the looks of how he's dealing. A 3-1 pitch to Medina, fly ball to right center field. Moving over is Richie Klosik to make the catch. And the Knights go in order in the bottom of the 8th inning. Jack Riley really wanted Tom Gorman to come here. Tom ended up going to Gonzaga and did pretty well for himself, pitched in the big leagues, and for some really interesting New York Mets teams in the mid-'80s. We go to the 9th. And 14, the Corvallis Knights 9. New pitcher coming in for the Knights will take a final 2-minute pitching change break. Back in 2 on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. Top of the 9th inning, James Colella showing his two-way versatility. Colella has played right field, and now he takes over on the mound for the Corvallis Knights as we go to the top of the 9th. The Knights trailing Bend 14-9. James Colella ready to go to Vinny Salvione. And the first pitch from the left-hander misses inside, ball one. 1 ball and no strikes. Vinny Salvione at Bowling Green, 2 years with the Portland Pilots out of Rex Putnam High School. Colella with a count of 1 ball and no strikes. And ball 2 will be called, a pitch clock violation on Colella. He certainly wasn't ready to go. That's one of the few times where I looked and thought, okay, here comes one. It's coming. And Colella trying to pull himself together for the at-bat is now behind to Vinny Salvione, 2 balls and no strikes. The 2-0 pitch swung on and fouled at the plate by Vinny. 2 balls and 1 strike the count. 14-9 Bend in the top of the 9th inning. Kind of a desultory performance tonight for the Corvallis Knights. And they hope to pull it back together tomorrow in what figures to be the rubber match, unless the Knights have a miracle rally in them tonight. A flash of lightning over the top of the ballpark. I mean, and now the thunder hits, and that's an automatic 30-minute delay, and I hope they just call the game, but they're not going. We're going to have to wait 30 minutes, and we may be getting a heavy shower. We just had lightning, the thunder hit seconds later. Fans are heading for cover, and I think probably rightly heading for home. We're going to need to get a canopy over the top of our stuff because it may start pouring rain. Strange development suddenly. So we're going to have at least a 30-minute delay. It's 14-9 Bend in the top of the 9th inning. Right below me, KJ and Kylie and Stacy and Matt and Annika all here. They're still here. They haven't gathered their things up yet. Colton chose not to come. The local plumber, Colton, New Tech Plumbing, chose not to come, but maybe he in the end made the right decision. They're all complaining that Colton, chose not to come, but he's home safe and dry right now while we're dealing with lightning and thunder here, so maybe Colton made the right decision. Kylie doesn't think so, nor does Stacy or KJ or Annika or Matt, but, you know, Colton, I hope you're just you're high and dry and enjoying yourself right now. We've got to head for cover. I don't know how long this is going to take, everybody, but I do know we're not going to sit here and talk for 30 minutes. So I think there's another flash of lightning I just saw beyond the right field fence, and we're going to hear thunder again in a moment. So Garrett back in studio, and anybody watching on the live stream, we're going to shut things down now for about a half hour and see if we're going to regroup or not. But it's going to be at least another lightning strike moments ago, so it's 30 minutes reckoned from that in the top of the 9th inning. So we got a long night ahead still. It's 9:51. We probably won't see baseball again at the earliest till about 10:25 or so. And there won't be many left when we do, I'm sure. Most folks I see are heading for home, and I understand it. But we're going to break for at least 30 minutes. Monitor your computer, your phone, however you're taking the game in via radio or the YouTube live stream. We're going to shut her down now for at least 30 minutes. Garrett and company will reconvene in a half hour in the 9th. 14-9 Bend. Talk to you in 30 minutes or so right back here on the Knights live stream and Joe Radio. So long for a while, everybody.